Can
Okay, Jason,
someone
are you gonna
please?
say it? There we go.
Oh,
There
thank
we
you.
go.
Can someone please tell me how the fuck you get authentic Mexican food the farthest away from Mexico?
They
No, they
well,
don't.
apparently
Because Canada is a cultural rainbow.
exactly. AKA,
There
we can't stop letting immigrants in, which is
might be some
admirable, but we don't
rainbows.
have the
A
houses for
serious
them.
problem. Our infrastructure is poor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so is America.
It's
so,
very
Yeah,
admirable, if a little short-sighted,
yeah, yeah. That sounds
or very
quite familiar.
short-sighted.
Yeah,
I do
America is
blame
supposed to be
Canada.
the melting pot of the
I,
world,
Yeah.
I
Hey,
but
blame
good
Canada
news.
for one thing.
They plan to make 15,000 more houses by the next year, but unfortunately they're going to let 3 million more immigrants in. So as long as there's like what 150 people in each house or something like that, we're going to be good. Something like that.
sounds kind of like how it is here. But
Anyway,
Shout
yeah,
out to Dougie.
shout out to Dougie.
I did a paper on his poor decision making.
who
It
the
was
fuck
fun.
is that?
Really? You should have sent it to him.
Damn, how long was that?
I mean, it was a max of 2,500 words, so not very long. But it was all about his policy backtracking. We're gonna do this. Never mind.
I imagine the essay started like, "Oh, bitch, sit down. All right, here we go. They're ready." This is not going to be 3-paragraph structure.
It was basically,
Anyway.
I won't get into it. It was boring, but I passed.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Now that we're done discussing Canadian politics, probably the most interesting subject of them all, we are. No, that's Canadian history. Sorry, that's the most interesting subject of them all.
Oh,
And that's a joke. Clear, it's a joke. It's very funny. Okay,
couldn't
so last session, you guys achieved a great victory. The last of the lieutenants of the Titans lay slain, almost quite literally at your feet. Circe, traitor Alexandra, Apollyon, and finally the Queen of Spiders, Arachne. Destroyed, defeated, lay low. And you managed to escape with the Oracle Delphi. The power of foresight has been stolen away from the Titans and returned back to Olympus. You guys have a fighting chance of winning this war again. Apollo arrived to you in the Oracle and asked, all right, where would you like the gods to meet up? Because without Athena and without Zeus, we need some leadership. We've got Hera, which is great, which is no tactician. And quite wisely suggested, the formerly cursed island of Ayaya was suggested by Ouroboros, the former prison of Qatar's own mother, Circe. To which Apollo was like, "Oh shit, that was not bad. Barbarian." It was also noted by the Oracle of Delphi that in one of her sort of scrambled prophecies, it seems the prolonged exposure to the gases that heightened her prophetic powers has left her somewhat addled, but she managed to suggest that Thalia possessed where she might call home a key left by the Unraveled One to an unknown ally to all of you. Someone who may know the back door into Olympus, which could be quite helpful. It was a long day. Boy, did I miss anything. Yes, of course, Athena and Nemesis did sort of watch her back as you got out of there with the Oracle of Delphi. The Goddess of Wisdom and the Goddess of Vengeance has been captured by the Titans. Incredible. With that, you guys have found yourself in Delphi. The city has somewhat uproariously celebrated the return of the Oracle, who has been gone for quite some time. Less than a year, surprisingly. It feels like it's been longer, but it's been less than a year since the campaign started. It's only day 145 since the Demithots formed. So, good job, guys. So, you all find yourselves in the city of Delphi, newly released from the grip of evil. What would you like to do? You've been told that the gods will await you in Ayaya, but you must rest and await Thalia's power to teleport. So what would you like to do in the meantime?
How many magical item shops are there here?
You can go hunting if you want. I will say Ayaya, we're not Ayaya. Delphi does or has looked somewhat in disrepair. And you can make an insight check on that if you wanted to, about why things are so crummy. But it definitely looks like trade is struggling. People health-wise have been struggling.
12 insight.
12 insight. It wouldn't be too hard, even for a barbarian. The major draw of of Delphi is that the Oracle of Delphi is here. Kings, merchants, beggars, they all come to seek the Oracle's wisdom. Without the Oracle, they have lost their sort of major attraction, if you will, which means that less people are coming through, which means less trade. So the city's economy has suffered in the meantime. You were told that Hephaestus will be a little bit more on point and should be awaiting you in Ayaya. And he certainly has the ability to create, improve, and whatnot magic items.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing is it's a buyer's market.
It is definitely, I would say, a buyer's market. Yeah.
Or a seller's market?
No, man.
No.
Buyer's market. Sellers are having trouble because they need buyers, so buyer's market. There's not enough people coming through, which means that buyers are in short supply, so more value.
We'll say as a
Shit's
note,
cheap.
Silenus is going to seek out the Inquisitor at some point.
Okay. If you wanted to go on a little adventure to find, or attempt to find, a re-entry point into the Underdark and try and see what she's up to, you certainly could. I forgot to put that in the recap. Athena did let the Inquisitor go to your people. It's time for you to decide sort of their fate. And the Inquisitor did go, so it's sort of up in the air right now where the Inquisitor, if she went back, if she did she try and persuade them to join Olympus? If she did, was she successful? Was she just killed by her people? It's very much uncertain what's become of the Inquisitor as of now.
Yeah, all good. If Silenus knew that, he would just know that he just has to try and get a message to her, so he's gonna seek out Thalia at some point. But it's not urgent, or anyone else can go.
My question is, when we left the Underdark, there was like a Titan rampaging down there,
Yeah.
which should be like right below us.
That is right. If you wanted, yeah, that's right. Correct. Is there a question in there, or?
I think just a realization.
Do you voice this realization?
No, I'm gonna let you go down there and find out for your fucking self. No, but yeah, I do tell you.
Yeah, Silence is just gonna kind of breathe in and do nature survival primeval awareness. So either a check or I'll just cast the primeval awareness if that's.
Yeah, no worries. Primeval awareness spans out, and I believe just the spell slot is required for that.
Yep.
Easy enough. You detect, I would say the one celestial that was Apollo. You definitely sense that there is sort of a, because he was just here, and probably has just left. And since Boreas's wind magic seems to be on the crits, he's got to kind of manually. You do sense like a sort of permeating celestial sort of power pulsing in the air. Sort of the return of the Oracle of Delphi is sort of empowering the various prophets of the land. Once more, you can just sort of feel that spanning out in all directions. You definitely detect 2 more celestials which you probably just met, and 2 primordials, which you just evaded. I'm gonna check for no dragons, no undead, no elementals. Well, they're technically considered elementals, primordials, but whatever. I think that's it.
Okay. And yeah, even just as part of that, like I might like even just kind of sense, like see if I can like sense, this is silly, but like
Yeah.
like any like earth activity, or like look at the waves and just see if like we're in any like immediate threat. And like even that could be like just like a nature check, just if we have to
Yeah.
kind of get out of here.
Yeah, tell you what, make me a nature or survival check. Your choice. To sort of feel the earth, know the earth.
$32
32! You sort of like put your
survival.
hand in the dirt and like smell the air. You have like the Galadriel beginning monologue. I feel it in the water. I smell it in the air. You feel the sun feels hot, but not uncomfortably so upon your face. You don't feel there's a large threat from the sun in the sky. The wind is temperate. You look down at the ocean and you see that like a number of docks have been destroyed. Nothing that looks to be like of immediate danger, but it definitely looks like the seas are not on your side. Other than that, the city seems to be doing a little bit better as far as, and yeah, I'll say that you do detect sort of that seismic activity, but nothing to be just sort of like maybe like you put your hand on the ground, you can just suddenly feel the like sort of like the rumblings of some deep, faraway battle, but nothing of immediate concern whatsoever.
Perfect.
Yeah, I reckon I'll look for any magic items, if there are any here.
Okay. Make me an investigation check to sort of spend what time you have left to look around Delphi and see if you can find anything of magical quality.
Okay.
If I can join him, I would, because that's also
Sure.
what I was gonna do.
Yeah,
And
I'll
you
let.
know,
Investigation?
for however long Bill's around, or what? Yeah, Bill. However
Oh
much
yeah,
longer.
Bill's around. Bill just follow you. I know nothing of this land. I died long ago and know not of this Delphi. Oh man, where's Bill? Oh wait, I'm Bill. Where's Ted?
Oh, he died.
Oh
I
shit.
mean, well,
Oh
I'm
shit.
assuming he died. He stayed below because he couldn't travel.
That's right. Oh, we had to leave him behind. Bummer,
That's okay.
man.
Yeah, Ouroboros will let his intentions be known, and anyone who wants to come along may.
I want us to look at you like he wants to come, but he won't say anything.
You see his satyr tail. He looks at you very stalkily, very intensely, being a gloomstalker and all, very like wicked intense, but you can sort of hear the flutter of his like fawn tail under his shroud of nicks and darkness.
Silenosh, you wanna come along or?
Yeah, if you want me to come, sure.
Uh,
Yeah, he'll just kind of do like a little satyr, like skip over and
what's that sound?
nothing, and he'll try like really hard to stop it, but it won't.
And you do. You're control of your faculties for the most part.
There
Um,
somewhere we should meet after, or should we just head to the waters and spend the night on the ship?
Uh, I mean, we can stay on the ship. And also stay here in town. If they try to attack us while we're here, they're probably gonna go for the ship first.
All
So it's
right,
kind of
I'll
a
rip.
catch 20.
I'll rip out a fingernail and hand it to Kiasi.
Every time it's never gets easier to hear.
Sounds
Just in
just dry
case.
heaves.
I want to picture it like just a dramatic fucking scene every time you do it, like.
No, I feel like it's just like there's just no emotion, but it looks awful.
Oh
Oh,
no,
like,
it's like
so
it's
it's
like
I'm
she just
sure.
like kicks the wall and pulls it off.
Yeah, Katara just like puts her finger against the wall, takes the butt of her dagger, just like slams it against the top of her finger, and then pulls her fingernail out and like sinew and like shit comes off of
but
it.
just
She looks
stone
she's
faced. Stone.
exactly. It
Katara's
was
the
like
best. Katara's the
You
best.
should-
She's a better gloom
This only
stalker than
takes
I am.
one
She's
blow.
a better gloom stalker than I am.
Katara wasn't raised quite right, unfortunately.
No. You saw her house.
She was adopted.
So fucked up.
Her pets were floating eyeball sheep, guys.
I mean, that's true. That's
Those
true.
things were kind of cute though.
You should write a book.
You should write a
That's why we have Eloy.
That no,
Yeah, Eloy's
don't
like,
write a
"I'm
book.
working
That
on it.
should
I'm
not
just-
be published.
I'm working on it.
That'll be the last one in the series.
It's the one I've got the most information on, but don't want to write the most.
All right, what do we got to roll?
All right,
and is this at
investigation, Katara, Ouroboros, or one of you at advantage?
All right. I definitely feel like you should
I'll-
roll for us, or
I'll-
whoever has the best.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
and-
me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna go from the like magic side of things. Like, would I be able to spot any symbols of like
Check.
known magic shops or something?
Check.
I'll give you
Check.
advantage. I'll give you advantage, Ouroboros.
Check it. You got to do the investigation check to even get able to find the shit.
This is like
Okay.
this is less about like this is more about finding what you know a lot about, more than like knowing what you know a lot about. You know what I mean? So it's
Gotcha.
always an
Okay.
investigation. Yeah.
Then yeah,
So
I'm
who's
fine
got
with
the
getting
best one?
advantage.
Not me.
Okay.
But I think she's looking for like magic stuff. You kind of looking for like. Actually, no, right.
You don't know what I'm looking for. I could be looking for a staff, a wand. Okay. You don't know.
Got
me.
it. What did you get, Katara? Get this roll
Oh,
done.
I'll roll then. Hang on.
Been working on it for 5 minutes. Let's just
16.
Hey,
Investigation.
16.
That was straight. So if anybody else rolled, if not, I'll roll again.
No,
Oh,
no,
you
roll
got
again.
advantage.
Roll again.
All right. 16.
Aw.
16. I got 2 things that you guys find. Sure. I think in the sort of well recognition. Well, here's the thing: you go shop to shop, and like you don't find anything. Like technically speaking, like your active investigation doesn't work out too well. The economy's fucked here. People are like diseased and not doing very well. But in the wake of the recent sort of Oracle's return, and not to forget that you are all technically a part of the religious order that is the Hellenistic religious order. And all of the priests now know what you just did. You will actually be approached by a couple of acolytes from different places, pilgrims and such. And 1 or 2 of them does have some rather interesting things to peddle. 2 to be specific. The first of which is one of them, it's their weapon. They're like an armored cleric. And they pull out their weapon and they offer, to sell it to you. But it's something that was granted to them as a remarkable, or I think you'll say like the cleric of his order died and he was on a pilgrimage to seek knowledge, and that is why he bears this mace, and he thinks that like the answer was in this form, which is why he's going to sell it to you. He brings out this flail like censer. On the end of it, it is a ball with different sort of Greek alphabet symbols, and it has steam, incense coming out of it that you sort of smell. And he says this is the devotee censer. It is to be used by a cleric or paladin to smite evil. and it also has the ability to heal the wounds of those who smell the incense that comes from it. The second item, which I'll just give to you as well, it's actually someone from the Temple of Delphi comes to you, and I might reflavor this item. What's a cool Greek mythology sort of like divination tool? What do you guys think? What's like a very come on, Katara? What's a very like Greek mythology like witchy tool? Like, is it wands? Is it like knuckle bones? Is it? It's not like Nordic runes for sure. What do we think it is? What do we think the Greeks?
I mean,
used to
I
do?
already have knuckle bones. Historical accuracy was drugs, so.
Historical accuracy was indeed drugs. That's true. Here, let me see what Google has to say. The knuckle bones of sheep, and yes, drugs. Which is what the first item is. The first item is drugs. The second item that you're receiving now, they're called the knuckle bones of the oracles. They're brought to you from the Temple of Delphi itself, the sanctuary itself. It has been offered to you all by the Oracle of Delphi herself to be purchased. They are made from the knuckle bones of past oracles who served as the Oracle of Delphi in previous times. What they have the ability to do is that if you spend 10 minutes consulting the knuckle bones, an oatman may come forth. Essentially, what it does is it works as a portent, and you may also cast divination with the knuckle bones, like a wizard's portent, where basically at the beginning of the day you roll a d20, record the number, and then for the next 8 hours, immediately after a creature within 60 feet of you makes an ability check, attack roll, saving throw, you can use reaction to discard the d20 roll they used, and instead they may use the number that you rolled at the beginning of the day.
Need that.
So they grant you the power of the essential powers of oracles.
Are they charging or are they giving this to them?
Yeah, they're charging. They're for sure charging. But they don't offer this purchase to anybody.
I'll sort of, I think, telepathically message Ouroboros and just maybe say, do you think Diasi would be interested in the mace? Or whatever it was, I can't remember.
This is a flail.
Flail, thank you.
Oh.
That one.
I don't know.
Says
He
God.
likes his. Oh, I can't talk back in telepathic.
Yeah, you can. Oh no, that's true. You can't. Right, we just didn't I go back and say fuck the telepathic beat? It works as message.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can. Yes, you can.
I mean, he does like his stabbies, so this wouldn't exactly be necessarily up his alley. Just for my warrior reference, a flail is what kind of weapon? I know what.
Well, that's the
what it
thing,
looks
because I
like,
want to. It's a flail in like normal D&D terms, but we have our special weapon list.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it's like it's a flail, but we're gonna call it like it's a flail. It's fine. It's a flail.
Okay.
No,
Super
it's like
fancy.
one of those
But what a
bone
flail is
whips.
well,
just kidding,
actually,
sorry.
it's sort of like think of it like a mace, except that the head of the mace is attached to the haft by a chain. So it's one of those things where it's got a chain. You sort of swing it around your head and you bash into people. But the flail does a D8 of damage.
D8 of damage. Okay.
It is a D8. It is a one-handed weapon.
Okay.
And then, of course, it's
Strength
magical,
based.
so it'll do an additional D8 radiant damage.
Okay. And strength based.
Strength-based, absolutely.
Okay.
Those could be of use to Thetis.
Who is... Oh, alive! She's still alive! That's so cool.
Miraculously.
Miraculously alive.
Just as a reference, what does she have? What did we give her?
Just trauma mostly, but
The
she
bow,
also
I
has.
She has the ring now.
Oh.
That's
That's
it.
ring.
Because
That's
she
it?
broke my staff.
Are you sure you want to give this to her?
It's not mine. But
Mm.
if it
Uh,
allows more healing, could be useful.
Well, I'll
Can you
tell you
give me-
what. I think. So here's the deal. Before you guys left, we'll have this interaction now just to save you guys from maybe a necessary purchase. So Thetis says, she's pretty been shaken up by the past couple experiences. Being sent to Tartarus by
She's
the
gonna
gods that
leave.
she served, fucking dying, and also kind of being a shit cleric, or at least being a cleric to a god that she doesn't believe in. She says, I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to stay here. I am a seer, and I'm supposed to serve Aphrodite, but I'm real shit at it. I'm not good. I don't mean that. I don't. In case we haven't noticed, I'm not really believing what Aphrodite has to sell. I think I would be better suited here. You're all very skilled and advanced, and I don't think I'm cut out for it. I think it would be better if I was here and I maybe learned of Apollo and help the Oracle. She seems that she needs help. Anyway. So I might remain here in Delphi. I hope that isn't going to piss too many of you off.
I suppose it would be useful to have somebody be able to maybe translate the messages.
I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at sifting through bullshit. It's true. I am good at that.
I mean, if that's where you feel like your path lies, then all the power to you.
I think so. I think it is. I think it's like the best thing. I mean, I died. I think, and I don't know. I think I'm done. I think I'm good. I think I'm good on fighting titans. I'm blind. I'm literally fucking blind. But I see a lot, so I'm going to stay here and see where it matters, I think.
All right. Just
Can't
don't
say I'm
forget to
surprised.
call in.
Well,
She just kind of bites her tongue on that one.
The tea is crazy. But yeah, do what you want, but don't forget to check in every now and then.
Well, I can certainly do that. And being closer to the Oracle, my sights might be more clear. Well, the Oracle's going to be quite busy. You might all need someone to be more directly in charge of what you need to know on your path. So maybe I can help in that way better.
Now, back to the playoff.
Okay, bye. She wants.
What were the abilities one more time?
So the devotee sensor. I'll just give you the, it's a paladin or cleric to wield it. It does an extra D8 of damage. It's a D8 strength weapon, one-handed. And also once a day, it can let out incense that will heal anyone within the radius of the incense at the time.
Okay. Yeah. Even just for that ability, it sounds like it's worth. Gyasi could fly around with it and.
But it is a strength-based, and
He doesn't. I mean, he can pull it out.
Rogue don't sneak
Yasuo
attack
too.
on strength.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like, if he
But
attunes
the
to it, he could just
healing-
pull it out.
Yeah. Well, I will say the healing is it is a D4 of hit points to any creature in the radius for 1 minute, within 10 feet of the individual.
Like
So that's
every
anyone,
turn.
to be clear. Yeah, every turn.
Could be useful.
Could be very useful. Could be absolutely. Just gotta do. But only a paladin or cleric could wield it, so it is Very
Okay.
much a Yasi weapon or a Thalia weapon.
Yeah.
How much are each of these?
That is such a great question. Yeah.
You get the Demithots discount, right?
Give you the Demithots special. We'll see.
Hi, I'm a member of the Demithots, and this is my favorite.
This is my favorite shop in Delphi.
Yeah. Commander Shepard.
Huh. Commander Shepard, favorite shop in the Citadel.
Also, another request: we have to use that flaming shit on the ship. By the way,
Oh
we
yeah,
have not used it yet, and
the Greek
that'll be
fire.
sick.
Oh, yeah, you
We
guys
have
ran out
to
of
use
Greek fire.
Oh,
But
it's
but
gonna
Oh.
get used.
yeah.
There are
That
giants with
is-
ships. It's gonna get used.
The flail is 3,000 gold. That is the Demithot special price.
Nice.
Yep, 3,000 gold.
That's the devotee sensor.
That is the devotee's censer. That's right.
Got it.
The deck of the Oracle, however, is 7,000.
That's cool.
Okay. Um, and the deck was 7,000.
7,000, that's right. Gives you
Alright.
the ability to cast divination. It gets you one.
Important.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a cooler or a more everyman way of saying it, but yeah.
One locked luck point.
Yeah, basically a locked luck point. That's exactly right.
Kind of. Yeah. Now, does
Spark
anybody
of
want
fate.
this specifically? Yeah. Does anybody want this specifically?
I mean, I can already cast divination, but it does take time. Is that an instantaneous divination?
This is indeed.
Could be useful.
Has nobody else piped up?
Can I
You
off
can-
table or because I'd eat that shit up?
I'm talking in the Brandon voice. This means that anybody can talk.
I'll tell you what. I mean,
I'll buy them both.
the whole party went magic item shopping. I mean, unless someone specifically has something really important to do, like I'm sure everybody wanted to potentially get in on a magic item, right?
I have actually 3 things that I want to do that are more important.
Fantastic. Okay, so if that's the case, then we'll say that Thalia, yes, you could have tagged along if you wished to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then I would mention I'm interested. Did you say it was attunement?
It is a 2.
Okay.
At the very least,
Cool bones of the
if I can pay for both, or we can divvy it up.
Oh, I'll just buy it and use it. Yeah.
All right.
Now got the
Thank you, though.
atonement slot.
Alright, you may add, Thalia, the deck of oracles to your inventory for 7,000 gold pieces. Go ahead and rename it to Knuckle Bones of Oracles.
Knuckle bones.
And whenever you
Okay.
use them, you'll probably think of the 10. Because they're Knuckle Bones.
And
What of
I-
the main or the whale?
Flail.
devotee sensor. I could pay for that and hand it over to Gyasi whenever I see him.
Is that also attunement or no?
Oh,
These are both attunement items, unfortunately.
Mm, okay.
I also put it out there, like, you were thinking about giving magic items to, like, your NPCs, which is a great idea. If you want to, like, acquire magic items, keep them stashed, and then give them to, like, important people around the world, that will influence events that will occur in the future. And like, there's already been, and we're going to talk about it this session, but there are things that have already happened that you guys have done that have, like, saved places. Your influence is noted when you do such things.
I can also contribute.
oh
I
yeah.
have a lot of gold.
We going
If you need it.
50-50 or what? Yes, I mean, it would be nice.
Sure, 50-50 is fine.
All right, so 1500, 1500.
Mhm.
Got it. Removing the GP now.
I also have art pieces we could sell for more gold too. But we're not doing it here.
Yeah. Not a very cultural place.
Well, they just don't have a lot of money.
Exactly.
They've been. Do people look healthier? Or is there still like a plague going around?
Make a medicine. Yep.
They're very skinny, so the diets are working.
They suddenly look perfect.
Ouroboros is the worst type of elitist.
Medicine is 9.
9 people still look pretty sick. Katara.
Okay.
People still look pretty sick.
I used to be a slave, damn you, Colin.
You have Stockholm syndrome for your.
That's fair.
It's true. You did join the people.
You made me.
I did not make you. Well, I kind of did. Actually, no, that's true. I can argue that I did.
All right. So I'll add the devotee sensor to my inventory until I see Yassi again.
Got it. Speaking of which, why don't we hop over to Diasi? So Diasi, Delphi is yours. What would you like to do?
The wandering around town item is I want to find where there may be soldiers, not necessarily nobles, but soldiers, who are suffering from the plague.
All right, fantastic. To that end, why don't you roll an investigation or perception check, your choice.
It'll be investigation and twice on Tuesday for a 30.
30. Well, the DC was like 5. I just wanted to see if that happened. Because something's going on in the city. You see that, not a riot, but almost like I'm going to call it more of like an uprising, seems to have occurred throughout Delphi. It's been subtle, mostly non-violent, but you start to notice it here and there as you go looking for soldiers, where you see the occupying army here is the Macedonian army. And you have the context that the Macedonian army is controlled by King Cassander, who is otherwise Kalagamet the Poisoner, who, is bad. Now that the Oracle of Delphi has returned, people are starting to perhaps receive information that maybe the Macedonians aren't awesome. So you do see that there's a division where soldiers are being kicked out of town, some violently, some not. Some soldiers seem to have pledged themselves to the Oracle and sort of left deserting the Macedonian army to protect Delphi. But you do see this going on. Just as a side note, but yes, there are a number of individuals who are sick, but a lot of them are being sort of kicked out of the town.
Okay, those that are getting the boot are not my targets of choice. Anybody who's on the resistance side, who is ill and suffering, those are the ones that I'm after.
Got it. Mostly militia, but definitely a couple of trained soldiers in there, and definitely plenty of sick to go around.
And I'm going to approach 3 of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to lay on hands, deliver 5 points to cure the plague. Rise in vengeance. Greece needs you.
As you do this, and you put your hand on this individual, you feel a surge of unusual power within yourself, and those 5 points will extend to the 3 individuals that you are meeting, as opposed to having to use all 15 points.
Okay.
As if Apollo wills this plague to end now, finally.
Awesome. 1 second.
No problem.
Okay. Item number 2 is I'm going to write a short note because I haven't written in a really long time, and that's a separate issue. But I want to write a short note to Mom. Use the speedy courier, sending her 5,000 gold. I'm telling her to take any of the sacred texts that are in Alexandria that she wants saved, plus that gold, and move in from the coast.
Okay. So it's done. Your cat accepts the letter and seems to vanish with due haste. And item number 3.
And item number 3 is I had every intention of also reaching out to the Inquisitor, because they left at about the same time that the Titans would have been inbound. I'm going to utilize 1 charge off the Tattoo of Hermes to do ascending. If I don't get a response, I will use the second one to do a speak with dead, where I don't necessarily have to have the body available.
All right. Let me roll a pretty cool check here to see how she's doing. Or how she did, so I should say. These are dealt with, and those. This is. Okay. What do you put in your sending?
This is Yase. I hope you got out alive. Best of luck with your people. Please reply.
You receive a sending rather quickly. It is. I am alive. I escaped that ambush. I have returned to my people. Things could be worse. I'm working on things.
Okay. And those are the 3 things I had to do on my list.
Understood. But yes, you very... Yep, all those get achieved. By the end of the day, mostly peacefully, the Macedonian warriors are sort of leave the city. The remaining warriors, sort of accompanied by a much larger militia, take up a very sort of, I don't want to say zealotous, but a very sort of a religious responsibility, and especially the more veteran warriors sort of form up on the sanctuary of Delphi, ready to protect her. Okay. There's nothing else anyone wants to do today. It'd be very easy to find sanctuary at the temple.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Just one thing. I would like to kind of just after the market, I think I would probably have just slipped away because there's had other stuff to do. I want to kind of look to this resistance, observe kind of how it's operating, and then look towards finding leadership or like a camp or something like that.
Okay. Why don't you make me an insight check? I'm gonna lower the DC because of how remarkably stealthy you are, how easy it will be to access.
That's a 14. Could I use the luck on my jewel?
Go right ahead.
Not any better. 14.
14. Yeah, you look around. The leadership. So yeah, basically the format is that it's largely militia. It's largely healthy and less healthy individuals, in equal measure, have sort of formed a militia with pitchforks, whatever. And a number of armories seem to have been raided. Spears and shields have been handed out to such militiamen. More veteran warriors, more veteran soldiers, even, are a part of this resistance. Definitely, sort of like a minority of the troops that were once here. But they all seem to be led by what acolytes remain in the city that are loyal to the Oracle of Delphi. That seems to be the primary leadership, which does include Dennis. She left. She kind of like walked away from you guys into the tunnel. And they're like, "Yeah, we're kicking him out," and she's like, "All right, sure, I guess I'll help out." So she's kind of in on that. Kind of got thrown into that. But yeah, it definitely seems to be what acolytes remain in Delphi, sort of taken leadership of the military of Delphi.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely just I imagine that it would be kind of somewhere congregated with a bunch of other people, so I'll just go over to her. Um, I'll go over, just greet her, take her hand, kiss it, say hi, and just like thank her for everything that she kind of did for the ship. And then I'll also um just ask her to kind of um use her powers just to influence this, and this is her time to step up, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And also with that, I'm gonna kind of put out there that I and the other Demithots will be in contact with her to form when it's
Okay.
time to rally. Um,
Okay.
just kind of mentioning that we'll be fighting alongside the Spartans, the Amazonians, and we're ready to fight, but she has to help take charge, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She hears what you say. She says, "Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not like trying to like run away from everything entirely. I mean, I am, kinda, but I don't know. On top of feeling like they need more oracles here because everyone left, I also don't want to get stepped on by oracles. By titans and stabbed, because that's happened a lot. In the last like 2-3 weeks, that has happened to me more than my entire life
Of course.
combined. And it's not. I mean, it's if it's your thing, go for it. I'm
No,
not like a
we need
demigod.
you here. That's the
Yeah, so
point.
I'll be here, but I will keep the Oracle safe, and I'll do my best to provide healing to Delphi and Oracle visions to all of you. So, yeah, Delphi, I've got my eye on it.
Okay. Yes, I'll also just take her embrace, kind of kiss her hand, and then say bye and go off.
Yep. Okay. She
Yep,
lets you
that's all.
go. Yeah, but you see her. There's some determination in there. She's pretty aloof, but she's ready to do her part. Yeah,
Yep.
good stuff. Is there anybody else? Yeah, Katana?
Yeah, I was gonna go to Thalia before right before we basically go to sleep.
Sure. Go right ahead.
So yeah, I'll just like
You mean-
knock on her door or whatever. I don't know where
Oh.
we are.
Oh, yeah. I was saying that Thalia's probably already in bed. She turned in early, but yeah, she'll open the door, like a little sleepy. What's up?
I was wondering if you had the ability to send a message today, or if that's something I'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Oh, let's see if I have spell slots left.
I want to put out there really quick as a reminder that all of you are part of the religious order of the Hellenistic Order, and one of those perks is that clerics and druids of this faith, really just clerics, but clerics will be willing to cast any spell up to 5th level on your group's behalf without charge.
Oh,
So if anyone had any diviny whatever or spellcasting services, you could ask the temple too.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I could cast a 9th level sending for you.
I'll go to the temple.
No, I'm totally okay with it. I'm going to sleep right now, and that's the only spell slot I have.
I think we should keep our resources on the off chance that we're attacked, if there's an alternative.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You don't want
I
to see
can- I
Thalia
can do
rise into
the-
the air, summon the spirit of Hermes.
I imagine
Assume a
Thalia says
godly
that
form,
kind of like
and-
rubbing her eye. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, man. I love it. Or in the morning. Yeah, I'd be ready to do that.
All right, well, if I don't have any luck, I'll come to you in the morning.
Okay.
See if I can find a cleric.
You
They're
guys
gonna
live in-
love me for this task, just say.
Well, you guys have been put up in the actual sanctuary of Delphi. It's not just a temple. There are living spaces you guys have been
Okay.
put up by the temple. But yeah, any number of oracle. There's not many, and they're very busy. But for you, they will make a divine exception. And one of them says, "Of course, demigod. What could I do for you? How may I help? You wish me to send a message for you for someone?"
Yes. I need you to send a message to my mother, Hecate.
Well, I mean, of course I can. I could do that. Sure. You want me? I could. Of course.
I said they're gonna hate me.
She's like, you get the sense that like you think that's why clerics are able to connect with their gods more is because they can more than just pray. They can send. You know, and sending to gods is a perfectly legitimate thing. So
Okay.
they will. She's like, she just hasn't done it to Hecate before, so she's like, oh, okay, of course. What would you like me to tell the goddess of witchcraft and paths?
I need you to tell her that my path took me back to the upper world. I'm sorry for not saying goodbye. That I have the first thing I need, and I'm going back to where it all began. What should I do next?
Her eyes literally fucking roll into the back of her head in that moment. No shit though. She like fully like is possessed. Her eyes roll into her head. There's like the whole room goes dark, like Gandalf style. It goes like dark, and her essence just seems to permeate like a deep purple magic. And she goes, "Katara, my daughter, congratulations slaughtering your true mother. Take note and great joy that your path leads to her domain, and within her sacred libraries lies the rest of what you need for your ritual. The path is before you, daughter." Oh my god!
Thank you.
You're welcome. I can do it again if you need me to.
I think we're okay for now. I have the next step.
Okay, I
And the subtext was, please don't need me to.
I'm gonna go back to rallying the military or whatever, and she's going to run
See
away.
dreams.
She's gonna show up at your cult. she's gonna be all like misshapen now because of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I do.
What I do. Fantastic. Anybody else have anything else? Anything else? Wow, words. Anything else they want to do tonight? There we go. No.
No, I think
Answer.
I'm just gonna like take my rest kind of on the outskirts. I just want to like just be kind of, I mean, I don't need to sleep, so I'm just gonna sort of sit outside where the party is and just kind of keep a casual eye on things. Just make sure that, not gonna get stabbed again to death.
I would
As a
say
note-
there's nothing casual about your eyes, Katara. And you could do that easily. Yes, Anos.
I was just gonna say, as a note, I'm gonna take off my cloak and just put all the darkness in a ball and put it in my bag.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, and Katara, as you sort of sit on this hill and you look down at Delphi as the sort of daytime becomes night, you hear that there is celebration in town and excitements and eccentricities, and those that feel healthy enough do celebrate the return of Yorko. And perhaps this feeling comes back to you, Katara, that you've done something truly divinely heroic, like classically heroic, much like Perseus or Hercules or Achilles or any of the great Greek heroes. Whereas you've lived in the woods and done your sort of dark worship for so long, you are sort of, I don't know, that sort of like stuff of legends now.
I'll look at the
Legends.
scar that Achilles left. My arm reattaching.
Cool. You hear in your head the voice of Achilles going, "Can I cut off your arm?" Okay, thanks. Awesome. No wisdom, just romance, I guess. Alright, is there anything else from anybody? With that, you'll all go to sleep in the sanctuary of the newly returned and sanctified Sanctuary of Delphi. Despite the dangers that lurk on the many horizons, you will all get a long rest.
Woo.
About time. Shit.
Oh, God. Welcome
Now
to
just to
level
get
where
rid of
you
that
are.
first level of exhaustion.
Oh yeah.
As you wake up, Ouroboros, a priest says, "Mighty Ouroboros, great and strong son of Zeus, you look like your troubles have made you weary. Can I heal you?"
Yeah. But seem real eager.
It would be my honor to serve such a living legend, a myth incarnate. It would be my
Jeez, man.
honor to provide you
weird
the
about
service.
Yes, please. It's been a while since I've had a good rest.
She will. Yeah, she is going to produce from. She kind of like looks around a little sneakily, and she produces from her pocket a diamond, and she will sort of whisper a prayer into it, and she'll shatter into starlight and sort of rabble around your body, and you'll cast greater restoration on you, and you will be healed of your last exhaustion.
Oh, yeah.
And then she stabs you in the chest and turns into Cersei and
I expected
your
that.
heart.
Nice. Finally, I'm at full power.
She says, "Is there anything else I could do for you, great hero?"
Pray for me and Demithots.
So courageous. She swoons and passes out in a nearby, like, one of those, like, French, like, fainting couches.
Right. And then, so it's like morning now, right?
Yeah, it's morning.
Okay.
The sun has come out. Apollo has rose once more.
Okay. I'll do a training montage then. Running on the beach, carrying like a 600-pound boulder or some shit.
It is hot today. The sun itself almost seems to have like an angry red tint, and it beads down on you like a heat wave. It's yeah.
Yeah, I hold the rock on my back like Sisyphus or something. Running
Oh yeah,
down
yeah,
the
yeah.
running down
I
the
got you.
beach.
Maybe you do
Yeah.
a like the guts from Berserk. You got like the tree trunk logs like tied off to your great club, and you're like, you're like swinging it.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible, incredible.
Um,
Is there anything else anyone would like to? Yeah, go ahead, Qatar.
I just have a quick magic item question. So, because this thing is a resets at dawn thing, is it reset now? Because I always get confused by the dawn thing.
Dawn means like the moment the sun peaks, your magic item gets its power back.
Cool.
When Apollo
Yay.
smiles upon you, you get your thing back.
Yeah, I'll hand over if I find Yasi, I'll hand over the devotee sensor. Tell him the rundown on it, and you know, see if it would be appealing to him.
Give it a go. It's not my normal, but
Yeah, I figure if you could just fly around healing people, I mean, even to that extent, like it would be helpful. But do with it what you will. Don't say I never got nothing for you.
duly noted.
All right. I got about 5,000 more reps, and I'll hop on the ship. Whoa, I feel alive! And then he like throws a fucking tree, like.
You're doing like the Mr. Incredible like train yard training montage. Stupid. All right.
This is just a question, Ryan.
Yeah.
Anything before I went to sleep? Did anything feel funky about the nighttime? Was everything okay with the moon? Did I feel anything?
Good question. I'll just dice instead. The moon felt fine. It was in its normal state, as far as you could tell. The moon was as it should be.
Okay. Maybe just as a note, when I wake up, I'll like say a prayer, to my mother, and I'll just say like, I wish you rest. Continue to fight. Olympus is not following while we stand. See you soon.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. And you feel that sort of cold light of the moon on your cheek, and it's comforting. It's comforting. Divine, maybe. Who else? Who else has got stuff they want to do this morning? Okay. That's okay, that's okay. Sweet, so the party forms up, gets their stuff together. You are offered a fond farewell. The Oracle of Delphi is... You almost feel bad for her, perhaps, some of you. And she's immediately on her throne. Sort of this, like, emaciated young girl, addle-minded, sort of clutching the staff is sort of back in the temple. The steam's sort of not as intense as the box, but lightly milling about the temple, enhancing the power of divination. And people coming to her, asking her for divine revelation. She's immediately back to that. You see, like, Thetis is at her side, looking a little, like, almost annoyed, perhaps, on her behalf. But she's just kind of, like, lost in her divine powers, that she's not really able to take care of herself, you know? So this is kind of what you see as you go, and though Thetis doesn't look your way, as she cannot see, she does see in other means, and she does sort of offer, like, a little wave to the temple door, as she sort of stands at the oracle's side.
Should we
Guys,
get going?
Better now than never.
Is everybody here?
Everyone can be here. Ted's like,
Big.
I'm ready. There's a Bill.
You're
Is this Bill?
dead. You're gone.
Shit, I'm dead. Bill's like, I'm ready. No, I'm ready. Write it down.
He lasted for 1 hour. And then just turned to dust.
No, and then it just into a skull and fucking falls down. Never mind, Bill's gone.
Oh, actually, if I could, I would like to reform my bird. But I think I might need incense for that. Hang on. Did I have? I remember buying some, but oh, I still
Yeah,
have some.
You bought a gazillion tons worth of incense, didn't you?
I have 2, so I think I got 2 blocks. So I think I can cast it 2 more times. I have a lot of healing herbs, medicinal herbs to make healing potions. That's what I have. I have a ton.
That's right.
But yeah, if I can recast my bird.
You do. There's many braziers about. Put your incense within. It burns bright, and you summon forth, appearing from the flames with another.
Yay!
Speaking of tons, I want to, since it's a little bit of a buyer's market.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to buy iron, silver, in ingots, and gold in ingots. Because I'm thinking those are things that Hephaestus would want to work with.
Right.
Actually, I will use because I'm still getting used to having it. Using the tattoo to send to Hephaestus. The Demithots are coming to Aiea. We are currently in Delphi. Are there any materials you need?
You go, oh, where do I begin? Now that I don't have my normal forge, it's nonsense trying to acquire the right materials to create things. You know how hard, you'd be surprised how hard it is to find the hooves of a Pegasus, considering that they're sacred beings and all. I don't have my workshop, and it sort of cuts out, and then he sends to you. And he goes, best you just get to Aiea, and we will be able to discuss what your party requires. But Delphi perhaps does not have what I require.
Fair enough.
Damn it.
In that case, Transformers, roll out.
Yeah. Well, it's good news because any of you know anything about magic item creation is that you need the item, you need a rare material from some mythical being, and then some other magic shit. So, you got the guy who can forge it, if you have the item, you have the item, and then if you need the magic thing found, you can send the fucking hunter god to go possibly acquire it for you. I don't know. Anyway, point being, yeah, you might have what you wish. Alright. So, are you guys going?
Twice on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Alright. Thalia, you cast a spell?
Yeah, if we're ready to go, I'll cast teleport.
Alright, and you're trying to go to Aiea, which you are very familiar with. Do you have... do you know of a permanent teleportation circle, or do you possess an associated object from Aiea?
I've got the seashell from there.
You got what from there?
The seashell of the nymphs.
Ah, that is right. That is right. You do. Let's see. So it means you possess an object taken from the desired destination within the last 6 months.
Oh, fuck if I know. I think it's been longer than that.
I definitely
check
can't help
right.
you. That's like I was
Yeah,
from there.
Yeah, it's been a little long, I think, because it is the month of Mimicterian, and you guys were there. Yeah, at the the beginning of the adventure, which was the month of Telegnon. Yeah, definitely longer than 6 months. Okay, so we're gonna roll, but there's a very good chance you're gonna get there just fine without any interruptions, because you are considered to be
Is there anything else that
very
can help?
familiar. Only knowing of a circle that
Okay.
you're going to, or having an associated object that was there in the last 6 months. Don't worry, nothing bad happens, guys.
Woo.
Oh, I've been sharing just this lame ass picture of your ship, which is a really cool ship, though, so it's okay. But anyway, let's go to I spent so long, but they misread me. Thalia, where specifically are you appearing in a
I
If you
think,
want to.
yeah, I think I'd appear at like the palace doors, honestly.
Fair enough. Palace doors. Let's see if I can lay this down. Okay, that didn't help much, but still looks cool. You all appear on a Yaya. Only Thalia and in your visions, Katara, have you seen this place. You were here when you were a babe, but that's beyond memory, if we're being honest. You see a large, but not too large island, minus the grand palace that stands before you. This seems to be a location that most would not wish to be stuck on. It is large enough, but not large enough that you would want that. But you stand before a beautiful, opulent palace, finery, luxury, a beautiful, beautiful place. What more could be said? I will say for you, Thalia, interestingly enough, there are less beasts about. If you would recall when you were last here, the place was full of jaguars and antelopes and boars and tons of creatures. Not so much as far as you look around, but you do see those big, beautiful doors where you once saw Cersei for the first time open, and another, even more beautiful figure emerges. You see your mother, Aphrodite. And she is trying to grab her. Come here.
Yeah,
Come here, honey.
will go to her mom.
Yeah, you run up the steps, you find your way to your mom, and she smiles widely at your approach. And she wraps her arms around you. And she says, and she looks at you with a big smile, and she says, Thalia, my love, you are as beautiful as the day you left.
Well, actually, I think when Thaya sees her mom, she's gonna immediately start crying and let, I don't know, the heartbreak of losing Leonis and Kyros like just overflow, and seek comfort in her mother.
Absolutely. There's this maybe initial, which is usual when you see a god. There's this initial sort of divine ecstasy as she emerges from the gates, and her smile seems to sort of match your own. But then when your heart sinks, when you think of the love goddess and the love you have lost, you see almost perfectly her emotion sort of shifts with you as if she's experiencing what you're experiencing at the same time. and you sort of charge forth weeping. And she does too. It emerges from her as well. She sort of takes you in her arms, and you two sort of share in your grief, and perhaps her own, at the loss of her son. And she'll just like hold you and comfort you, and words won't be shared. Just comfort. What little can be shared. Her warmth wrapped around you, sort of that tingling sensation, that feeling like this is exactly where you would need to be to seek what you wish to seek right now, but it doesn't make it go away, unfortunately.
Yeah, she'll eventually compose herself and go inside, I guess, with him.
You compose herself, she composes herself, she sort of like plays with the hair and sort of like playing with it, putting it behind your ear, and her own tears sort of scattering down her cheeks from her radiant purple eyes, pink eyes. And she just kind of nods and brings you inside, and yeah. The rest of you seem, by the sounds of it, sort of respect the distance of this interaction as Thalia has this moment. But as she's sort of being escorted inside, the kind smile of Aphrodite will return through the tears and look to all of you and kind of like beckon you all within.
I think when Katara lands, she's kind of like she did like a quick scan of the palace, but she's sort of looking outwards more because the only thing she really remembers is a cliff.
And the cliff, you do see Katara. Way off in the distance at the highest points, you sort of have a flash of memory of that murky night.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, like, she's just sort of like kind of stares at it, and I don't think anybody else really like no one else knew the dream or anything that she shared with Alex, so they might notice her looking a little like completely in the wrong direction, just like very focused on the one point she remembers.
I think nobody has seen the same vision, but everybody, to some extent, I think by this point knows of your backstory, Katara.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Thalia got in her head.
And all of you heard the babe crying sounds in the darkness in the last Hades battle, and I'm sure it will require very little passive insight to recognize that this will probably be very difficult with Katara. This is the home of her mother. And you see, maybe not Thalia being a little overwhelmed, but the rest of you might see Katara sort of staring off at the peak behind, maybe at the palace, with a look of less admiration, more sort of lost in thought, perhaps. So yes, do you all enter?
So this is it, huh?
Oh yes, I've heard many stories of this place. All kinds of stuff. Odyssey. Do you remember the Odyssey? No? No, okay.
I only remember one part, and then I'll kind of start walking.
Sorry, you find yourself stepping through the doors of your, in a very strange way, the home of your birth. Technically, sort of your childhood original home, maybe? You walk through these doors, and maybe you expect more, but no memories come to you. You were very young when you were here last. It was very long ago. You all walk through to see sort of an entryway. You see the gods here and there meandering, sort of not really talking with each other, more sort of shouting at each other. But the format of this place very much looks to be like a receiving entryway for, a single prominent individual to receive multiple guests. Hera sits on the throne, which was surely meant for Cersei. That was indeed at one point meant for Cersei, that Thalia saw. But the various gods are sort of bickering amongst themselves. Hermes is saying, I don't have time with this, I have messages to deliver. And Hera's like, you stay there, we must discuss what is to be done next. You must deliver messages, you're the fastest one here. With Boreas spent, Demeter says, Boreas, who cares about Boreas? If the harvest fails, there'll be no armies to march. And Dionysus says, yes, the harvest. I just wanted to say something. And then Hephaestus is like, I don't understand. If I am to make more weapons for the gods, I need these special materials. Artemis, you must help me. Artemis is like, I've been scouting everything. How do you expect all this information got here? And they're all just sort of bickering and yelling. Apollo, they're like, where's Apollo? And Artemis is like, he's the sun. And they're all just sort of kind of yelling at each other about what to do next. And Aphrodite will sort of sigh and to go, they've been at it all night. I'm glad you're all here. We don't have Athena. She sort of, sacrificed herself for all of you. Lucky you. And so, Tactician's gone. Even Ares is gone. So he can't even provide a sort of bull-headed, sort of straight-on your opinion. Zeus is not here any longer. We lack gods of war. There was a time when Olympus was thought to have too many. Now we don't have enough. This is wonderful.
Can I subtle cast enhance ability on Ouroboros? Or
Sure.
charisma? Or Eagle's?
Eagle's Splendor.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a very, very, very subtle from an eagle outside as Ouroboros feels like
The only way I would have it.
Rome is in his heart or something.
Assassin's Creed style.
By the way,
Yeah.
silence definitely comes in. Cloak on. Just saying.
Yep, no problem. Cloak on.
Where's the nearest ledge to jump off of into a bale of hay?
Cloak on.
There are no bales of
Cerberus on too.
Oh yeah,
That's
you whip
no.
out, you pull out that Cerberus head and just like have her right there.
Katara is sort of waiting for Ouroboros to step forward, and then when she thinks he's ready, she's actually gonna like slam the kind of staff that she's got down and use kind of thaumaturgy to let out lightning sounds to sort of bring the attention to Ouroboros.
Ooh.
No fucking pressure.
Aphrodite will sort of turn her attention to you, Ouroboros. She says, you are the son of the god, king. You are the son of the king of kings. And while I, of course, respect the captain, the gods are led by Zeus, and you are his son. And she sort of approaches you, kind of puts a hand on your shoulder, and that sort of, almost like that way that, like, a lover might before a big moment. As if to say, like, I believe in you. And she says, it's time to take your rightful place, son of Zeus. With your friends, of course.
No pressure. He'll look back to everybody. Say, you know what we have to do.
When you're ready, I'll get their attention.
How am I supposed to hunt without more arrows, Hephaestus? It's like, I can't make arrows if you don't go out and collect more materials for me to make arrows for.
Stop this foolishness.
For guitar. Immediately,
I'll, like,
as if trained to after millennia of Zeus's rulership, the sound of thunder quells their infighting, and their attention is immediately turned. There's, you know, different looks that the one arriving is not Zeus himself; it is Ouroboros, but attention is called regardless.
I'm gonna cast like just subtly. I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace, make it look like storm clouds, like
Okay.
just like under, like around him.
Shit, guys.
You sort of approach into the center hall. The gods are sort of gathered around.
I suppose that I was mistaken. I thought that I would walk in here and see all of you working together.
Dionysus goes, haha.
Do we not all share a common enemy? Yet, you all stand here to look at Hera and bicker and argue. Now is not the time for these petty squabbles. In the words of Athena, it is our duty. In the words of Apollo, it is our duty. The Demithots, to bring order here so that we can mount an offensive to finally end this plague of the Titans on this world.
Demeter goes, you, the Demithots, you're children. You mean to lead immortals of thousands of years? It makes no sense. Hephaestus is kind of like, oh. Some people sort of groan and moan. Other people are like, well, Hermes like, well, he's right. You know how much I could have got done by now if you all just shut up for a second? Artemis is like, she's like a little indecisive. Hera says, enough. He's right. We have been blind, children. Look at us. Without my husband here to rally, without Athena's wisdom, we're like scrambling children, he is notwithstanding. But here we have our offspring, the Demithots, demigods who possess our very blood, and yet they are one. Very well, son of my husband. What do you propose?
The Demithots and I have journeyed quite far since our last encounter. We have fought the Titans above the entrance of the underworld, and we were victorious. My brother was slain by my own hand. My party and I, we traveled across the river Styx, helping to ferry the dead. We sailed and sailed until we fought Cerberus, the guardian of the gates of hell. And we were victorious. We were judged, each of us. Some went on to places of pleasure and happiness. Others, like myself, were sent to the hells. And fighting tooth and nail, slaughtering as many as I could get my hands on. And do you know what I was? Victorious. Just as the Demithots that went to the upper planes, finding Persephone, convincing her and letting her know the truth of what has befallen our world. Hades is now on the side of light once again. Thanks to us. And I do not mean to sound entitled to this belief, to this urge to lead. But I will say, have we not done enough to prove to you all that we can show you the light of which being victory against all of these titans? Now that the titans can be sent back down to Tartarus's depths, we have a chance. Not to mention, Arachne is slain, the Oracle restored. We have all the makings to win this war.
Persuasion check, of course, advantage. As there's a at the end of your speech outside somewhere. Just hits it perfectly. That's really what enhanceability does, just like when Eagle shows up at the right time.
Does your
like,
cloak do any
accentuate.
other things?
Yeah, do you flourish the
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. I'll use since I'm not raging, I have my own thaumaturgy and I'll fucking have it bellowing in the wind.
what did I fucking give you? The golden fleece.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I rolled a 21 with advantage.
21. Hera says, "You do not mean to speak entitled." She stands. Everyone sort of watches this interaction with intensity. "But you do. You speak with great entitlement, Ouroboros. And hear this, boy. You are entitled. If you mean to be leading, then you should act like it. Never apologize for seizing power, especially that which is yours rightfully. Is that understood, boy?"
Yes, ma'am.
She looks behind her to the goddess that you are familiar with, who accompanied you on your travels to the underworld. You see the goddess Nike. He says, "Nike, goddess of victory, you were always at my husband's side, and you were at theirs before they head to the underworld. What say you? Do these demigods have what it takes to overthrow the Titans? Help us reclaim Olympus?" Nike says. She sort of just turns her head to Hermes, who says, "Apollo has spoken. With the Oracle of Delphi back, prophecy restored. These five are prophesized to help return us to the mountain." Nike says, Victory lays in their hands, and none else's. We have no choice but to trust them. And we should. And Hera says, sort of nods, says, Artemis, Hephaestus, prepare the world now. It's time for them to see the world the way it is, and decide what happens next. They will be our war gods. And immediately the gods begin to disperse to start preparing for this war council to be held, to be led by all of you. Incredible. I know we're not in battle, but like.
How
okay,
was
we're
that,
not
guys? Was that decent?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Take inspiration. Take inspiration.
Thanks.
Oh no, wait! I got music for this. I got music for like the new, where we're at now. Yeah, hell yeah, Magic Reborn, baby, let's go. But yes, immediately the gods begin to disperse to go about doing different things to prepare for this coming war council. Demeter doesn't do shit. She just kind of hangs out. She's a fucking harvest god, fucking loser. And not helpful here at all. Artemis sort of walks off with Hephaestus. The two of them start speaking to one another. Hesta approaches you all and goes, I've already prepared rooms for all of you. If you would like, just let me know if you ever want to see them. Are you guys good? Do you need anything to eat? Anything? Just starts like fussing over you guys, like a grandma. Seriously. Hermes starts dashing around the palace. Nike just kind of joins your party. Like, she doesn't say anything. She's not necessarily like, you don't know what her deal is, but Victory stands with you now. Dionysus starts talking to Hera. Let's go. Actually, no, you know what? That probably is what he'd do. He'd probably say, like, he'd walk up to all of you and go, well, his Hestia is starting fussing over. He goes, a toast! And not to be silly, but to propose a true toast. This is the only way to seal things for truth here in Greece. You are to lead the gods. This is a day to be reckoned. Never have demigods stood before the Olympians and commanded them where to go. So drink now, my friends. If you are to do this properly, drink now, or else it is destined to fail. I should know. I'm the wine god. Drink. Fuck you. And he, like, and all of you have goblets in your hand. He chugs it back. He smashes the clay goblet on the ground.
I'll take a small sip because I'm actually trying to keep focus and do something else.
Got it. You, like, take a small sip. He's, like, staring at you violently. You just continue with your small sip. You don't drink the whole thing.
I'll look at him and I say, I have other things I need to do. Let's hope this doesn't impact it, and I'll drink it all back. Fine.
You do that. He goes, whatever. Nima watches all of you make sure you all drink your goblet, smashes it on the ground, and goes, good! Now we can get to work. And he will sort of start walking off in excitement. This is like Greek wine, where it's not like just hard wine, it's always watered down. So this won't be enough to impede any of your abilities. This is definitely more of a celebratory thing than a let's get fucked up before we plan a whole war. He's not that great. Okay, he is, but he's not.
I was just thinking back to the last time he gave us wine. It's like, well,
you're right. You're right. Well, he's certainly not trying to self-sabotage here.
Right.
But anyway, he has you guys have a drink. Aphrodite gives you like a look of Ouroboros of like, good job. But soon all the fussing comes to an end, and you guys are, while you're here, the gods will all sort of reassemble. Apollo himself will arrive, which gets like a pat on the back from Hermes and Dionysus, his two buddies. Hermes looks a little afraid, like he's just come out of a battle. His bow sort of like tightly gripped at his side. He goes, all right, let's do this soon. Sort of approaches. What happens is that as the gods assemble, Hephaestus comes out with a long, rolled up, it looks like some kind of like rug or large map of some kind, and he sort of takes it out from under his arm and he goes, and he unrolls it, and it unravels across the entire room. And as it lays down, immediately it sort of becomes three-dimensional. He takes out of his pocket a number of figurines and sort of scatters them on the map. They all sort of go in the air and they sort of float out and organize themselves on the map, rearranging, and you have yourselves a full sort of life-size map of the Greek world, which we will go to now, when you may prep your plan forth. Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through this. Don't. I'm not gonna. Okay, now what do you want to do? Okay, we gotta get the map. We gotta get the news right.
Is that Minecraft?
Basically, being honest. Okay. So here before you is the Greek world. You guys are all around. These are the pieces you get to spend and use. All the gods will help sort of report the situation going on. The first of which will be... Oh, what topic should we start with here? Hera says, "This war meeting is called to order. It is time to see what happens next. There are many things happening in Greece, and we'll be happy to tell you about them all. So, but first things first, as we do not wish to overwhelm you, we're going to go one step at a time. We will start with this, what you have at your disposal. And it is this: there are many mortal factions at your disposal, but let us speak of the gods here and present now. You have with you Hermes, Hera, Dionysus, Aphrodite, Artemis, Demeter, Hephaestus, and Hestia herself. You also, of course, have Apollo. But Apollo guards the sky from Hyperion, the Titan. You, of course, will be able to decide wherever you want to send any of us, where you think our talents might be most useful. You may ask more about us, about our potential, our pasts, what we have been useful with in the past, who we have alliances with, and so on and so forth. But these are the gods that are currently here and on our side. There is, of course, Nike, but, well, you can decide where you wish to send the god of victory. Her influence will not be unnoted. Forgot about her. So, the island of Aeaea is yours, which is right here, as you can see on the map. Now, places of import will be represented by these gold pillars. Ones that remain loyal to Olympus or not destroyed will have a flame ignited on top of them. Their spirit remains strong. So, Aeaea is ours, where we all are. That is essentially the gods who are at your disposal right now. Which leads me to speak to you of your potential allies in the Greek world. The first we will start with is the Spartans and the surrounding places, as you are well aware of. Sparta remains strong. It has never been controlled by Macedonia and remains strong. The two kings, Cleomenes and Eudamidas, hold Sparta strong, and their warriors stand ready to go where the gods deem them worthy to go. The kings have considered the pilgrimage to Delphi now that the oracle has been returned, but we gods have the power to send divine messages and call those armies forth. So if you decide you wish to send the Spartans somewhere, they will go there. In the mountains nearby is Corvolcus, where King Heberos, the past king having died and the new prince having taken order, controls the dwarves there. At Hephaestus' bidding, you'll go where you wish. And there's, of course, her old ally, the dragon Ozin Loldeth Mastertail, and his forces of kobolds. Those are sort of who stand there off to the side. There is, of course, also worth noting that the Myrmidons of Achilles, they are at large. They are currently stationed in Sparta, and though they are a small force, they are a potent force, worth noting. which I'm gonna put them down actually. They're Leonin because it's fucking awesome. That's why they're Leonin. That's my only reason. They're Leonin. So, the Spartans stand ready to go to war. You need simply decide where you wish to send them. The Myrmidons also will stand ready for the gods. Next is the Amazonians in the north. They have a great force which is currently being challenged by the stone giants. They are holding their line to the best of their ability, but they remain strong and under the influence of the gods. And of course, Queen Niobe commands this force with great skill. She's defending her lands, and if you wish to send her to do something else, someone will need to be sent to persuade her to do so diplomatically. She seems steadfast and prepared to keep Themyscira for the Amazons. It is also worth noting that the forests outside of Themyscira, where the cult of Hecate lingers, remains with its 2 leaders ready to go. I have no doubts that you, Katara, would be able to send word and send them where you please, but they remain idle. There is, of course, the Drow, but we do not know what their status is. We do not know if your Inquisitor has successfully secured leadership of the Drow or where more Drow cells are. So there's something of a wild card and cannot be relied on at this time. These are the leaders that you can rely on. The rest of the Greek world has largely either been defeated or controlled by the Macedonians, who are controlled, of course, by Kalaganath, the poisoner.
What are the state of affairs between Kalagamath and the Macedonians versus the Giants?
Kalagamath remains under her guise as King Cassander. We were not certain if it would be wise, we were unable to agree if it would be wise to inform the Macedonians of the dragon, and if that would cause, an attack on the dragon subsequently to destroy the Macedonians. We were undecided if it was more military, what was to be done there. But she continues to control the Macedonian forces, and they are widespread. It has also stood down to the giants. King Cassander has said at the death of the Thracians having failed, it makes sense that they submit to giant rule and work alongside them and try and form diplomatic ties, which is obviously a guise, as Kalagamath is in alliance with the Titans. This is what is happening. And the Macedonians control much. They control Athens, they control Corinth, they control Argos. They control much of the Eastern Greek world.
How's Constantinople?
Constantinople. Unfortunately, the city did fall to the Frost Giants. After the 2 kings who were defeating them, one of them was assassinated by the traitorous daughter, he looks at Apollo, of Alexandra, and Kalagamath's nature revealed. They retreated, and Constantinople was only able to hold up for so long. The city is all but ruined, and a small host of frost giants now sits on their glory.
Who leads the giant?
The giants, Apollyon now defeated, somewhat run amok. You see, it is not the role of titans and gods to directly lead their children, but nonetheless, the titan Pallas, the father of giants, continues to produce more and more giants. They have decided to call the ruined city of Badrama the giant homeland, if you will. They have altered it to a great degree, and Pallas sits there and continues to produce more and more giants. If the giants are not dealt with, Pallas dealt with, the giants will continue to grow until they are an overwhelming force. I will remind you, the giants were created specifically to destroy the gods. They are a force to be reckoned with, even if you have defeated a few. And the giants spread far and wide. The stone giants assault Themyscira. The fire giants continue to spread south. The frost giants have made their way into the Aegean and will surely make their way to Samothrace, first and foremost, where the cult of Hecate lies. The hill giants continue to travel south towards Pella, and though he has not done anything to aid the giants, Atlas continues to sort of stomp around Thracia as he pleases.
I
This is the
feel that
giants.
the giants that have already been made, I believe when you put me in front of them, I may be able to sway them to our side.
It is your prerogative to do so. But I can tell you for certain, if you try and lead them without the blessing of Pallas, the father of giants, they will rebel against you. If you wish to lead the giants, you must either earn his blessing, which, well, he is a titan, so that is out of the picture, or you must defeat him. And, I think Artemis would say, slay the Alpha, and a new Alpha may be established. It's not technically how wolf packs go, but like the whole Alpha thing isn't a real thing that wolves do, but in some sort of herding communities, it does work similarly to that. Anyway, the metaphor stands. Kill the leader, and a new leader may emerge.
Noted. Ouroboros is like actually writing this stuff down. Like he's in a chair, like he's doing the damn thing.
Fantastic.
Huh.
Hera will say, this is also worth noting, and not forgetting, that Prometheus, though his location is unknown, continues to produce these doppelgangers, these flesh-changing spies, these beings of clay. The ones that replaced your Alexandra surely have been put into positions of importance throughout the world. It would be safe to remain on your guard with these shape-changing spies. They may have replaced important people, maybe less important people. Maybe they prepare to ambush you where you go. Either way, prepare. Shape changers are about, and Prometheus must be found to stop him.
Did not Prometheus help mankind long ago?
He did, and he was punished exultingly for it. It is uncertain, well, it's not entirely uncertain. Before Nemesis's capture, she did not sense vengeance from Prometheus. It did not seem to be his aim. It could just be that he is being forced to do his work under the rule of the other, more malicious titans. But then again, the gods have been fooled before. Usually not so exactly. It could be that he does deeply desire vengeance, and somehow he has managed to block himself from Nemesis's gaze, which is, well, difficult. Either way, he must be stopped.
If we are looking for his location, we can always ask the doppelganger that we have.
Did we kill that one?
Yes, but I can talk to her still. She's in the hole.
Excellent. Very well. She looks at Apollo, and I have no doubt the Oracle of Delphi's divining abilities will help guide us towards where we need to go. Apollo says, it can be done, yes. It can be helped. You just need to know where to focus her gaze. That is very good.
I was gonna, if I can take like a wide look at the map, I want to see, and this is going to be a very long shot, but the placement, like where the Titans are being placed and like where Kalagmith is located. I'm just curious if there's any, if I can kind of get like an insight into like if there's something that they're trying to do strategically at those locations. Like, is there a reason why it's those locations other than just control? Like, I'm just trying to see if there's any other strategy beyond where they're like, just from what we can see right now.
Got it. Make me an investigation or insight check. It is your choice.
I'll do insight.
Yeah, to try and surmise some level of strategy.
17.
17. It is tricky. They seem to be everywhere. The major titans, which will be pointed out, Hyperion vies for the sun with
Okay.
Apollo. Oceanus has dominion of the sea, which we'll get into later. Pallas holds dominion of the giants and has set up shop in the Asian Minor. Atlas sort of stomps around Thrace. Kronos sits upon Mount Olympus. There's also Perseus, the god of destruction, who you've all defeated before. Stomps around Arcadia. And these would be... Oh, and there is the god Demithots, the god of rage, who stands in sort of the islands, peninsulas, to the south of Greece. So they are pretty spread out mostly everywhere. Yeah, they're pretty. Their influence seems to be spread quite widely. You get the sense that they're trying to maybe like smoke out. Maybe it's tough to say. I'm not going to give you everything, but I'll suggest maybe they're trying to win by sort of. Maybe their pride is ruling them right now. They're like, we're Titans, we're awesome, we've got the gods on the run.
Okay.
Let's just crush everything. Let's just fuck up everything in every direction at once. Maybe they're trying to smoke out the gods by sort of vying for influence everywhere they possibly can. It's difficult to say, but they definitely seem to be more like, let's hit a little bit of everywhere all at once, rather than have all of the Titans in one spot just mowing over everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions, absolutely, as I continue to explain.
Can you list off the names of the gods that we currently have?
Sure. It says the gods who are present are Hestia, Hephaestus, Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, Hephaestus, the god of fire and forge, Demeter, the goddess of harvest, Artemis, the goddess of the moon and the hunt, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and desire, Dionysus, the god of madness and wine, Hera, the goddess of rulership and women, or marriage and women, rulership and women, Hermes, the messenger god, and Nike, the goddess of victory. And then, of course, Apollo, the god of sun and prophecy.
Okay. Apollo...
I can also tell you which gods have been lost to us and where to find them.
Yes, please. Tell us where they lay.
First and foremost, Athena and Ares were found out rather quickly. They are quite loud in what has happened. The very god that took Ares, or the very titan that took Athena, Demithots, the titan of rage, is on the ruins of Seriphos, the island of Seriphos. She has been enraged by his influence, along with Ares, the god of war. Athena and Ares are locked in endless combat on the island. If the two are to be brought back to the side of the gods, they must be reminded that they are not each other's enemy, it is the Titans. But rage and short-sightedness, which is what Demithots represents, can be hard to overcome. There is Poseidon, who has been locked within his very palace in Atlantis. It is also worth noting that the nymphs of Aiaia are also locked within that prison as well, under the watchful eye of Oceanus and his great seaward monsters. Poseidon represents all of the seas and all of the natural disasters that could be brought to bear on land. He is a very powerful force of nature who has been captured there.
Well,
There is Hercules, who has been lost to us. He stands upon the world pillar, holding the sky up above, which is where Atlas was meant to be imprisoned and punished for all time. Now, quite ironically, Hercules remains there. Lastly, oh hello, Poppy. Oh, sorry. Cerberus is here too. No, that's a joke. Zeus has been imprisoned nowhere else but in his own prison, up on the mountaintop, Mount Olympus. Kronos keeps a watchful eye on him, close by, no doubt mocking him.
he hasn't eaten him yet.
He wouldn't dare. You see, young demigods, what is little known is that Kronos has developed a great weakness, one that most things in this world share now after the Titanomachy, the first one. Kronos, well, she sort of looks across the room and says to Apollo, says, well, you're the storyteller. Apollo says, I was not there, of course. I was not there in the original Titanomachy, me and my sister, but all the gods know the truth of the story of Kronos. You see, Kronos devoured the gods. This much the mortals know. Zeus tricked Kronos into freeing the gods. This is not the case. Zeus tricked Kronos into eating him. When he went into the stomach of Kronos, he met the gods there and rallied their spirits to fight. How did he free them? With the primordial bolt, of course. He struck such a blow into the lining of Kronos' stomach that Kronos was forced to release all of the gods. And forever now they say that he bears that scar in his stomach. Any amount of lightning shot at this vulnerable point can be not only deeply wounding to Kronos, but would also force him to release all who have been swallowed by him. So he would never dare to swallow Zeus again. I don't suspect he would have. He sort of looks around, the other gods sort of nod apprehensively. Strategy in war is not their strong suit, but all seem to agree that it would be unwise to swallow Zeus, to have such a vulnerability. Hermes says, yes, unfortunately, it's hard to see what else is going on the top of Mount Olympus. If we get anywhere close, we're going to get close to all the titans that Kronos has in reserve up at the top of the mountain, and then, you know, like, I'm fucked, and Apollo's fucked, and if Apollo's fucked, the sun goes down, and, well, that's bad news. We don't want to talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Hera says, anyway, those are the gods who remain lost to us, who have been captured, need to be reobtained. And with that, so that would be the extended war support, or war explanation. All of the titans have been identified. But I could go through them again if you wish to be reminded of the most important ones and where they all lie. You needed more boys.
I think I've got the gist of our situation here. And he looks down at his notes. It's probably illegible to anyone except him. So, can you zoom out on the map for me?
Certainly. Hermes will say one last little note. The underworld remains under our control, and Hades is confident of that. But he does warn that there is a Titan rival that he held in the original Titanomachy is unaccounted for. The Titan known as Iphitus, the god of medicine, the Titan of medicine and death. He held dominion of the underworld before the gods did. He's not been seen yet, and they're looking for him, but he exists. Beware. More reports to come.
What could
But that should be
his
the full report.
absence mean?
He's plotting something. He looks around the room.
Very well.
You'd be better asking Hades. They were original enemies. But Hades simply said that it's not a concern right now, and that he's going to keep an eye out, and he's going to try and find and bind him if he can. Just be aware that that's a possible danger in the future.
Okay. So, looking at the whole map here, it seems like the fact that the Titans are spread apart gives us a bit of an advantage. Due to the fact that we have the bottom corner and the top right corner of Greece under our control,
Sorry,
who put the ship there?
I'm
Is-
trying to find something to represent you guys. Never mind. Sorry, keep going.
So, the way I see it, we have two fronts to fight on. Currently, the forces to the north of Sparta. What lays there is a Titan that we Demithots have defeated before, and we have many allies that could come to our side there. The only problem is they're stuck in the left portion of the map. So if we can rally all those armies together, we can march straight ahead towards what is are those Myrmidons or
Where are you looking?
to the northwest of Sparta, that pillar that isn't lit.
One of these guys?
Yes.
The
Any
one
of
to the
those.
very right is Athens. Hera would say, it is ruled by an administrator Demetrius. The Athenians could be a potential force for good. They have always been independently minded, but the administrator would need to be brought on board. Shouldn't be too hard.
All right.
But then there is, of course, in the middle, Corinth, a powerful choke point on the mortal realm. Or she wouldn't say, she doesn't know shit about war. But Corinth, and then there's Argos. These are the three cities. And then Delphi to the north.
Understood. It looks like Macedonian forces are in Athens. Is that correct?
That is correct. Athens is dominated by the Macedonians, but many Macedonian warriors are recruited locally, so many might be more loyal to Athens than Macedonia.
Okay.
So, it was Athens, Corinth, and what was the third one?
Argos.
Thank you.
Argos. Yeah. And Delphi, though not majorly protected, remains on our side. It is worth noting that after Kronos took control of Mount Olympus, Dion was evacuated by King Attilos, who heads south for Delphi with his Paladins of Judgment. They should provide excellent security for the Oracle.
Well. All right. So just what I know about the Spartans, they're not known for their navy, but what they are known for are the baddest warriors in the entire fucking hemisphere. So if we could somehow convince the Athenians to come over to our side, then we have one of the most developed, technologically advanced navies in the entire archipelago. We team that with Spartans that can man them, and we can attack anywhere in the Greek world with a force that can fight way bigger than it weighs.
You do think like a warrior, I'll give you that. But you must remember, now you're playing in the scale of the gods. You must remember their deities. For that will surely mean much for their victory. The Spartans, hail Hercules. The Athenians, hail Athena. Without these two gods, they'll only be half as effective. Even if you don't send those gods to help those forces specifically, those gods, well, they watch over their own, yes?
Right. Well then.
This indomitable fighting ability the Spartans possess is in no short part because they are blessed by Hercules. Hephaestus goes, well, Corvolcus, the dwarves of Corvolcus, my people, I protect them. We could deploy them. They're fully effective. They're ready to fight. They're brawn and strong. With my blessings in tow.
That's a good point. How
What?
far? Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's I think it would be worth considering trying to collect the giants. That would be an entire force that's widespread that could then be turned. What else? And so I'm just gonna look to the remaining gods. Like, what can you offer in support to help us plan effectively?
All right.
I have
We'll
a
go to
question,
Oh, yeah, go ahead, yes.
and I will turn and address Aphrodite. It's
Yes.
understood that rage and passion share opposite sides of the same coin. Lovers become bitter
Understood.
enemies, and that confrontation between Athena and Ares, could it be subtly turned?
If you mean to ask if love can be more powerful than war, I would say so. Why do men go to fight in war?
Well,
Why do
Helen
they
would
die
have an
on
answer
these
to that.
spears? If you mean to send me to try and calm Ares' spirit and Aphrodite's spirit, I could definitely give it a try. I've always had a way with Ares.
I was thinking of your influence and the bow. And I will look at Silenos.
The bow of my son.
Mm-hmm.
I could. It would be helpful.
I'll walk over to Aphrodite and put it in her hands and take her hand and kiss it. And then bat them.
And to
Um,
answer Ouroboros's question, I think that if we were to remove Persis, that would free the Spartan forces and the Mimrodons, yeah, and the forces of Corvulcus, I think could secure Argos and Corinth, holding that peninsula.
Indeed. In fact, what I was going to suggest, if we can somehow get Pellis out of the picture, then
I want to put something out there first. Two things first. The first is because I want to answer Qatar's question, so that people can know what the gods can contribute. The second thing is when you hand the bow to Aphrodite, Artemis will speak up, which will say, "Well, you mean to force Athena to fall in love with Aphrodite? That's, I mean, I get Ares, but like Aphrodite and Athena?" And Aphrodite says, "This is how love is done if they think it is best, Artemis." They seem to share a look as if the two of them know something that they're not letting on. That makes both of them uncomfortable with this plan.
Can I incite my
And
mind?
to be clear,
Sure,
I was
it's
actually thinking of
16.
Ares and Athena.
15.
Because they're the ones that are currently
16.
enraged.
16. Artemis isn't hiding it very well. You sense that I won't give you everything, but she's being very protective of Athena in this moment for some reason. And Aphrodite seems to understand, but you don't understand the full story. You just know that Artemis seems like strangely protective of Athena's who she's in love with. Artemis says, well, that's even worse. Ares is, I mean, we all know what Ares is like. He's awful. Aphrodite's like, just kind of like kind of swallows that, and the other gods are like, yeah, Ares sucks. And they all like share a moment where they'll shit talk Ares. They're like, fuck, that guy sucks.
If we can at
Is
least
there-
calm the emotions of both of them,
Or
to the point where
or flip them is what my thought was. Because right now they're being held in rage and forced to beat the snot out of one another. And that's at the behest of the Titan, whose name begins with an M and I can't remember.
No problem. It is Menetius.
If that were to flip from rage to lust, that's outside of his purview. That's outside of his ability to control. And those emotions are so closely bound together, that may be enough for them to break free of his sphere of control.
Well, allow me to say this, Aphrodite says. I have the power to make whoever I behold fall in love with me, and I certainly have no issue invoking lust in whoever I wish. I don't necessarily... I do not think I'll have any trouble with Ares. But between me and Ares, perhaps we might be able to quell Athena. She is the most, other than Zeus of course, the most deadly warrior on Olympus, but I have confidence that I can take care of that situation, perhaps.
And it's only got to be enough to keep, even if they don't get freed, if it keeps the Titan occupied, trying to reassert his control, that puts his focus there. It can't be anywhere else.
Hera will speak up, and she'll say, "You think very well, Gyasi. You see, when it comes to gods combating one another, you must not consider martial strength. Do not consider the might of Ares versus the softness of Hestia. You must consider their domains. Does love beat war? Does the sun beat the ocean? These are what you must consider. So you think quite well. Can lust and love beat rage? I think it's possible."
you've opened up my eyes, Gias. Ryan, you can say what each one of them can.
Right, and we'll come to that point now. So first and foremost is Nike, the goddess of victory. Nike's cool. She's the god of victory. Where you place Nike, you can be sure that victory will come with great ease to whatever that challenge may be. However long it may take, victory will come. The careful thing to acknowledge there is that Nike, if captured, will be able to provide the same bonus to the Titans, willing or not. So having her on the field somewhere specific will draw the Titans' forces to her to try and capture her, but she will be able to help that problem be victorious on your side. If you leave her in Ayaya, the place of sort of the focus of, you know, the for all intents and purposes, the hive mind, she could sort of distribute her influence a little more equally, but be safe. So if you're like, we need victory here, you can put her on the field, but you risk losing her. But if you want her to be commonly effective and safe, you can leave her in Ayaya. Hermes is the messenger god. He is the fastest of all of the gods and requires no special travel to do so. He can also remain in communication with Hades. So he's very fast, he's the messenger god, and he keeps the gods connected. He keeps the war effort better connected than their side. essentially. So you can essentially leave him to do that, because he'll be the one giving out your commands. He'll be the ones going, okay, tell this god to go here and go this one to do here. So you'll probably want the messenger god running messages. Probably the best thing for him. Hera is the queen of the gods. She represents royalty, not the king, not like king royalty, but the queen. She also represents the protection of the innocent. So where she's like the goddess of women in marriage, women are often like left at home to protect the children. They're considered the innocent. She's the goddess of protection of the innocent. So where she goes, she'll be able to protect those sort of caught innocently in war, those who are not warriors, those who are more innocent. And this will go commonly. Like if you leave someone in a Yaya, their influence might be spread a little more commonly. They won't solve a problem, but they'll provide sort of passive benefit to the rest, if that makes sense. Dionysus is the god of madness, and he's the god of wine being probably less important. He's also considered a great warrior. Back before he was cursed with madness, he defeated Titans alongside the Amazons. So he's considered a great warrior, though sort of addled by madness. Where he goes, he can create a great deal of chaos and possibly a martial victory. Aphrodite is the goddess of love and desire, and she can evoke these things where she goes, either towards herself or towards others. She's great for morale, to put it plainly. She will help sort of inspire less interested forces. She's very good at persuading forces to do what you wish. So if there's people who are struggling diplomatically to do what you want, she can very much grease those wheels. Or you can, and of course, you can use these gods more creatively, like you need to send Aphrodite to Zephyros. Artemis is the huntress. She's the goddess of the moon. She sees all that lies under the moons. She stalks in the dark, and she hunts with great precision. So if there's a single target you want taken down, she can do that very effectively. If you want her to hunt something of great rarity, she can find it very easily and hunt it. Yeah. And she can also scout quite well, of course. Right with land. Demeter, the goddess of the harvest. She makes, armies are run on their bellies. She can go places and ensure that the harvest is plentiful. She can sort of keep things marching in the right direction. So she provides sort of, if you want to send her to like a ruined city, for example, she can start growing it back up and sort of bringing it back to life. For like,
is she
Constantinople's occupied.
Is she capable of the opposite?
Yeah, she can decide that she doesn't want any of these gods can decide to do the opposite. Like Apollo can say, I curse these people who have enraged me and send pestilence down upon them. So yes, in the exact opposite, Demeter can withdraw her influence and make a hungry army. She can also, revitalize the ruins of ruined cities. Hephaestus can produce great wonders to arm the gods, arm yourselves, even arm armies. But there is a caution. What you put into the world cannot be put back. That is what Hephaestus would say. He says, you see, I'm not only about creating things, I'm also about holding inventions at bay for the right time. Like, I know how to create things that would blow your fucking minds, but humanity isn't ready. We're gonna do what you think is best. If you want to send me to the dwarves and have them build weapons that won't be seen for another 100 years, I can. But just be aware, if we win the war, we can't take those things back. Prometheus brought fire to man, and it was a little early for them, and that's why Zeus got so pissed off. So on the same hand, you can bring advanced weaponry to man, but they might not be ready for that yet. But you can decide if you care about that or not, right? Otherwise, I can just stay here and make you guys cool shit. Yeah. So that's what Hephaestus does. He says, oh, also I'm the fire god, so I can make things light on fire. So if you need something destroyed, I can declare that. And Hestia says, oh, I just like to make a home. Make people feel comfortable and safe where they are. So I can stay here and make sure Yaya is, a safe and wonderful home. And I could go to other places and do that. So, surprisingly, she'll provide a protection bonus to wherever she goes. If you send her to Sparta, for example, the Spartans will, feel more prepared to defend their home, and they'll want to protect their hearths, their families. And just the same, if you leave her here in Ayaya, you know, it'll make the place more beneficial to you in different ways. And that is what the gods do. And then you guys obviously do what you do best, and you kick ass wherever you go. So you guys can decide where you want to send yourselves as well.
Apollo's locked with Delphi and the sun, right?
Yes. And you can ascend Apollo other places, but be aware, if you send him away from the sky, you will be sacrificing the sun to the Titans.
Okay.
Which could have... which the gods will say, yes, if you lose the sun, you know, the power of... To see all that happens under the sun is gone. The gods will see the Titans will see our every move, which is almost as good as prophecy.
Very well.
And be aware these Titans must be defeated, but maybe not armed to do that just yet. But the Titans themselves will need to be defeated.
Alright.
So, Aphrodite says, so I go to Seraphos to free our war gods?
Yes, I think that would be best.
Okay.
And as I said, if not freed, then at least the struggle there keeps the Titan's attention there. It may not work, but if he has to constantly be putting in effort, that's effort that he can't direct anywhere else.
At the very least, I want Athena and Ares to be fighting on the same side. Because with her wisdom and his rage, I doubt anything can stand against him. Not even the Titan.
Hera will say, for all of Ares' faults, the only person who's ever been able to defeat Ares, and no god even is really quite sure how, Athena is the only individual who's ever been able to defeat Ares in battle. Otherwise, Ares has defeated every foe he has met. Partially, of course. He is still influenced by the powers of the mind and such. But if these gods can be redirected towards the true enemy, the Titan on that island, perhaps they might even defeat him.
That is the goal.
Aphrodite says, I'll try to do my best.
Alright. Next up.
And as a note, the gods won't leave immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll be around, and when you guys decide to deploy, they'll deploy as well.
Very well.
But Aphrodite goes to Seraphos.
Is there anybody else on the board that has like significant influence with Artemis?
Influence with her?
Yeah, like, because I'm just thinking, like, with the idea of like love and lust, like Aphrodite can definitely divert attention with Ares, but with Athena, it's like just realizing the clarity of like, hey, you have other shit to do. And I'm just wondering if there's someone else that's important enough to just give her that like, oh, kind of moment. And not, because I'm just wondering, like, maybe love's not the answer for Athena. It's just about reestablishing clarity.
Got it.
But if you take away Ares' rage, then she has all the room to think.
But if she just keeps attacking him, right? That's my thought. Of like, if there's someone else to divert her attention to actually set the break.
Well, if her attention gets diverted, they have a common problem right there.
Because the other thing that I'm thinking, if they both get their attention to Aphrodite, they're just fighting over Aphrodite, right?
She sort of happily sort of swishes
Like,
her hair back. She's like,
so I'm just wondering if if we should put another player there, just to have Athena's attention be diverted somewhere else, rather than have their fighting over one thing.
Don't underestimate the cunning of a lover. You'd be surprised how many men have fallen in competition for a woman. Maybe Titans falling in competition for But by all means, if you wish to send Nike with me, my victory would be assured.
No, I think we'll need a little bit of victory everywhere for this plan to work. Good takes though.
Dionysus says, we could always add a little craziness in the mix, you know?
You
I mean, they
Actually-
want those two to fight each other. Maybe
Uh,
if we just have a fucking free for all, then it doesn't matter anymore.
Dionysus.
Yeah, buddy. Big boss man. What's up?
I actually did have an idea where you could come in.
Oh yes, send me places.
All right. Please move the map northwest.
The guy in the back goes, who's me?
It's just you.
I'm in the
Ryan.
campaign going, just like photo machine.
Thanks,
to
Ryan.
Themyscira. Ryathos.
All right. So a big problem that we have is the giants. They are primarily acting as the foot soldiers, as tall as they and as powerful as they are. They're still foot soldiers in this brawl.
Right.
Now,
Uh-huh.
if they are so aligned with Peleus, perhaps there is a chance that you could instill a bit of dissent in their ranks to the point to where they don't even want to serve. Maybe they bicker amongst each other. Maybe
You know who fights each other? You know what people like to go crazy about and fight each other over all the fucking time?
Who's that?
When they look different. You ever noticed that the Greeks look different than the Persians and we fucking hate each other? You know who looks different? Giants
All
and
the
other
giants.
giants. There's stone giants, there's fire giants, they all look fucking different. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna hate the fuck out of each other, I bet you. Let me in, coach, I'll take them out.
All right. Now, allow me to tell you your goal here. Not
Okay,
only
right. I have a
is it
goal,
to not only is it to instill dissent in their ranks, it's also to make them question their loyalties. Now, what they are going to be doing is A, fighting amongst each other, 2, doubting Peleus, and 3, more easily swayed by an outside influence that brings them together. Me.
I'll do my very best.
All right. Now,
I think of Harris as just be warned, all of you. Dionysus is madness. You know, he's sort of, for all intents and purposes, the wild card. Just bear that in mind. He's not the most focused individual.
well, what could help him focus?
He's the god of madness. How do you focus madness?
Exactly. I think you will do well. Try not to get into any scuffles. I know that you are quite capable.
Don't get into a scuffle. What? Do you want me? Wait a second. Wait a fucking second. Don't get into a scuffle. What if I take your don't get in a scuffle and I raise you, go hang out with my old buddies, the Amazons, and get into a for real scuffle?
Do you
And
believe
then,
you?
while we're in the midst of the scuffle, I'll be like, hey, stone giants, you know who says you're fat? The hill giants. And they'll be like, what? And then we'll fight, and then they'll fight each other. It'll be great.
Well, my idea in that regard is, with your madness making the giants fight amongst themselves, there won't be any way for them to coordinate and to attack cities, at least as an organized unit. Now, if we
Right.
send Artemis
Right?
to out of off table, I forgot who who the Amazonians leader, like their god, Ares.
Ares. Remember Niobe's battle with the king? It was
Yeah, yeah,
Ares versus... Yeah. Says, well, I did always love the Amazons, and they do fight like crazy fucking people, so we'll fit it right in.
Okay. Do you think you can increase their effectiveness by a significant margin?
Well, yes. Probably. Yes.
I assume. Who are
Let me
those
put it
two
this way:
individuals?
we don't want
over
the
there?
Titans to win. So yes.
Got it.
What if we send Artemis to Kalagamoth to hunt her down?
No.
Oh, oh. Get other plans for her.
There
Artemis
needs to
says,
be
I
vengeance.
can do many things. I can. Also, if you. Hephaestus, she like points to Hephaestus and goes, if you want cool stuff, I need someone to supply me with cool ingredients for cool stuff, unless you have the ingredients. Just keep that in mind when you send out the Huntress.
Mhm.
I have a very specific idea. Is I would like Artemis to come with us to deal with Peleus. I want to hit him as hard and as fast as we can conceivably hit, because he's out there all on his own.
You mean Palas or.
Or
Oh,
no,
Perseus.
no.
Sorry.
Palas. I called it
Perseus.
Peleus. Oh, yeah. What?
Oh, what the fuck?
Pallas.
They have the
Yeah.
same name.
Persis. Persis. That's what I meant. My fault.
Persis, that's right. Persis. Sorry, I got the name wrong myself.
Yes.
Okay.
Shit. Yeah.
That way the
Sorry.
martial forces there have got an opportunity to clean that up. But I want to hit him as expeditiously fast as can be done, because where we actually need to be is to deal with Peleus as the giants. By
Right.
the time we get done with that and get to him, that should be enough time for madness to run its course to a degree.
I agree.
The underwater Amazons. I know they weren't like the fighting force, but they could still fight, right?
Oh yeah.
The underwater Amazon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a tribe of water-based Amazon, or sort of.
I'm just
underwater
thinking if we're
Amazons.
gonna go fight underwater, if we can help the Amazons and free up some of their warriors, and if we're gonna, take it to the water, that would be a good like second step to try to.
Absolutely.
Hera will
That's a
say
good idea.
it's also worth noting that they've gone into hiding, but Poseidon always held dominion of the Atlanteans. He's the god of the sea, so we don't know much of what happens down there, but he boasted here and there that it was a formidable force if it was made available. If only Poseidon's reign could bring them forth.
Indeed. So I like the way this plan is going. So as Aphrodite is converting Athena and Ares to relatively clear minds, perhaps they can fight against
Atlas.
not Atlas.
Melius, or whatever that.
Melius? Whatever his name is.
Melitius, the god who's
Melitius.
Melitius. Yeah.
got them pitted. Okay.
Rage Boy.
Right.
And Dionysus is going to Themyscira to help the Amazons fight off the stone giants, and then eventually,
Just instilling madness into the giants' ranks. By the time we get to Persis, he won't have many giants that are willing to help him. And we'll have more of
We'll have a pincer of our own at that
Indeed.
point.
all of the Amazonians, or at least whoever can fight, working with us to take down Persis. And then once Persis is defeated,
Well, and we can't overly plan, because they're going to respond.
indeed,
That is very
So
true.
the question
Titans will
becomes,
respond.
how are they going to respond? And then you start getting several chess moves deep, which is fine and dandy, but it makes for a great game, but it's not necessarily on point.
I agree.
The other thing that I'm going to ask, and that's you, Demeter.
Me?
Starve
War Council?
Macedon.
Starve the Pella, the capital of the Macedonians? Starve
Yes.
them? Well, I can do
Withdraw
that.
your favor.
I can certainly do that in the middle of winter. Very well. Very well. That requires no effort at all. So I'm going to mark that down. She herself is not necessarily going to need to go there to do this. She's a god. She just, like, thinks about it, and suddenly the crops start fucking up, you know?
Why should we starve the Macedonians when Clagameth is the one that's ruling them?
It's not just Clagameth. They have to be, to a degree, willing. What we saw on in that space was the ones who were there on the Profontide knew it was Clagameth, and they were quite willingly slaughtering everybody who wasn't a Macedon.
Mhm.
And at the very least, removing their ability to produce
To
food.
put troops in the field.
Indeed. I
That
mean,
means starving out cities too, because the soldiers always come first and the people will starve.
I appreciate where you're coming from.
Hera
But-
says, I could always protect the innocent. Just send me to Pella in subtle ways. I can protect those who would be most effective.
I think that
if we,
sends the message that the gods do not support the palace and the military, but the people,
Mhm.
which would be, I think, a clever way to solve the two problems.
at the very least, you can rot the food stores of military encampments. That way, the forces that are out in the field don't have the ability to fight.
So I changed my mind. Yeah, Demeter will actively have to go there to, especially to affect the whole province, shall we call it. So she can absolutely go there to start starving out the Macedonian forces.
And I like the idea of Hera helping. I'll tell her thank you for putting forth the offer.
The men are the warriors. It's the women who stay home. It's the women who starve first. And the children,
Very
they'll be protected.
And while we have Artemis with us to deal with Perseus, when we went into the north of the lands of Sparta near Corvokas, there were fire giants around a mountain of fire. They periodically will spew stuff and befoul their surrounding places. Are there any such in the southeast of Asia Minor? I honestly don't know. I'd go look it up, but there probably is. There's all sorts of
giants?
fault lines in the air. Yes.
volcanoes or some shit.
Volcanoes. We have a fire god. Blowing up the volcano is
This is
right in the wheelhouse. And if
Yeah,
they don't
he
have
knows.
fire
He knows for
giants
sure.
deployed there, then that's equally no bueno.
Hephaestus says, make no mistake, there are enemy forces sort of everywhere. This is there's good forces sort of everywhere, but we've marked here on the map the major forces. So the answer is yes. But I assure you that after Prince Heberos became king, he sort of declared war on giant kind. The mountains that you traveled are less gianty than they were, but yes, there is still volcanic activity.
Well, I'm not thinking there. If you pan to the east, in the other east. Keep going. Asia Minor.
Yeah.
There's that trio of giants, and I think they're hill giants.
Those would be fire giants.
Oh, are they fires? Okay.
Yeah, the hill giants are making their way across Thrace.
Okay. Well, that would be equally fine. I'm okay with volcanoes up there, if there are any to be had.
I will honestly have to look that up, but I'll let you know, because there's plenty of volcanic activity. Not plenty, but there is some. Okay, let's see.
I would like to recommend an alternative in case that doesn't turn into something that we would like.
There is a volcano near Athens, on one of the small islandets near Athens. There's a submarine volcano in the middle of the Aegean. There's an island to the deep south, a little ways north of Crete, which is a sort of obsidian lava dome. There's also a dormant volcano, which can very easily not be made dormant, near Corinthia.
I don't believe I'm actually considering this.
But you are.
The world.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna say it out loud. And the short version is, or has it already exploded? I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me. Santorini exploded. In the well, that's the question that I have, because I don't know, because time has been involved. But
you were definitely
the biblical, water turning to blood, the huge, part of the plagues of Moses were all because of that particular volcanic explosion, because it totaled an island. Now, if you're going to want to distract somebody, something big exploding over here might get their attention if it's on that order of scale.
Indeed.
That is true. If you want me to blow a volcano, it is of no great issue to me. It's also worth noting that if you want me to set up a more magnificent workshop, I would need access to a volcano. If you wish to send me to one, I can make more finer tools and weapons.
That's the aspect of your portfolio.
I can do both at the same time. I could explode a volcano and work there at the same time.
Santorini turns out to be a really nice place after it explodes. It's a great vacation place.
What is Crete looking like right
now? Crete has been taken over by pirates, believe it or not. It has become something of a pirate island. as of late. It used to be a small colony. Now they've used it as a base to exploit the trade routes of the south, coming from Greece to Egypt and further east and further west. So there are pirates.
Yeah, and that's largely because the Athenian navy isn't in the water.
Yes, that would be perhaps why.
What kind
Wow.
of warriors does Crete have? As far as
What
skill.
warriors does Crete have? None, as of now. The pirates ran in and slaughtered everybody. Lawless, godless, thieves.
They do have a lot of cats, though.
Interesting.
Suppose.
I was going to suggest that Hephaestus could arm the armies that we have in waiting.
Oh wow! I knew it was big. I didn't know it was that big. Holy! The Santorini explosion was on the scale of Krakatoa, which
Damn.
yeah, it fucked up things good.
We could be laying waste to some of the surrounding isles.
There's it's big. It's not that big, but it's gonna have weather impacts for a while.
Hmm.
And it is absolutely going to get everybody in the region's attention. And it's going to put an underline in the you don't have complete control over everything.
I think how we have it set up right now, with Aphrodite in the south, us going northeast, and the others going northwest, that does divert attention. There's
Yes.
3 possible directions in vastly different areas. One thing to note, with Hera going that way, she's right near Kronos as well. I was just thinking about that. He's already got the king of the gods. Just something we should keep in mind.
I think she can get out of the way if needed.
I think so too. Particularly if we put a couple of significant events on the field. I think Persis expeditiously going in a hole, Santorini going up in a pillar of flame the size that gods would notice, is going to give cover to whatever is going on in Clagamus region. It's going to give cover to Aphrodite's efforts, because everybody's going to be looking to where the hell did that come from? And if we can make it from there to Hellas, so you can establish new leadership for the Giants, their head's going to be on a swivel.
Indeed. It's a 3-pronged attack, at least. And with the smoke and ash generated from Santorini, we're able to divert those Athenian ships and the Spartans and the dwarves and the Myrmidons.
We should be able to
They'll have the
consolidate
cover.
the Spartan Peninsula.
Apollo says just 2 things to consider. The first of which is when the sky is blotted out, the sun cannot pass through the ash. I cannot see what's happening beneath the ash. But we have other means of scouting and more traditional ways of keeping an eye on things, but I will not be able to. The other is that we do not control the skies. That was Zeus's domain. If we can ensure Boreas' return to us, he's the master of the winds. He can ensure that the winds blow in the right direction.
Where is he held? Do we have
He
any
left
idea?
that out.
He's on his domain in the Arctic. It's he's been out of touch for the last day or two. It's possible that he's been attacked, but he is well defended. Kermit says, I mean, you can always just send me. I mean, I can find out pretty damn quick. By the end of this war meeting, I could probably find out what Boris' status is.
Yes, please.
Alright, and he's gone like a bullet. So Hermes sets off to go check on Boris.
All right. The question now that we all need to ask ourselves.
Should we take a lunch break? All the gods go, yeah, lunch sounds good. And let's take a break. Let's take a 5-10 minute break.
I was gonna say, is this plan actionable?
Politics simulator.
Ryan, we were bouncing a lot of ideas off of each other.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. It's great.
I'm a little predisposed right now, but Yasi, can you give him the spark notes?
Sure. The short notes for the for our northwest front with the giants and the Amazons and the cult forces that are there, while Dionysus is working, we really want that to be not pitched battle, but guerrilla demoralization. We want them to infight amongst one another, absolutely. But the exterior attacks, we all want to be demoralizing as opposed to pitched, where hit the food supplies, hit the loot, hit them in the fields so much rather than the personnel. Our main central piece around I'm going to call it the big kaboom, because that sounds funny, is we want to send a select warning via the Oracle network.
Oh yeah, and keep in mind that communication is up. With the Oracle back, communication's up, across Greece.
We'd like the Spartan forces to know, hey, dudes, get your boats in from the shore. Something bad's gonna happen. Want to send this
disaster.
We want to send actually the same information to the Athenians, despite the fact that the Macedon forces are there. But we also want to put out, an appropriate message of the start of, the beginning of the fall of, or the second fall of the Titans will begin when the sunlit skies darken and a crack of thunder is heard around the world.
Damn. Okay, when the skies go dark and thunder is heard, marks when the Titans will fall.
Or the begin of their fall. Because our goal is to get Hephaestus ready to do his thing, get Aphrodite in place to do her thing, and for us to get into striking distance for Persis. Then, since communications are up, have Festus make the big kaboom, which should get our enraged Titan to go, what the hell? Because it's right in his neighborhood.
Mhm.
And that should give Aphrodite an opportunity to go in and do whatever it is that she needs to do, and then get the Fiat out. And at the same time, we want to overwhelmingly strike Persis with everything that we can bring to bear, and make it as a percussive a strike as can be had. So in one kaboom, there is a lot of whoa, where the hell did this come from? Because our next goal after Persis is, I don't know if we're going to sail it or if we're going to try to scry it or something, but the goal is to go after Hellas and the Giants next. And to do that as quickly as can be had. That should give Dionysus some time to sow his I hate you because you look different, and some demoralization to occur that provides opportunity for things to go horribly wrong in very short notice. But some of that is also going to depend on what we hear about what's going on in the wind situation, because we'd like to blow most of the smoke towards Egypt.
Hey, speaking of which, Hermes appears in a burst of wind. He says, "Okay, I'm back." He does have like snow on him, for sure. He's like dusting that off as he talks. Boreas is fine. There was a little incident where a Titan attacked, but Boreas was able to defeat him thanks to Keone. His formerly evil daughter warned him of the attack ahead of time, so it's a good thing that Keone goes around. Anyway, Boreas and the winds are working, and the gods can teleport by his will once again.
That's awesome. Yeah. And maybe we can get a little steady state wind that's going to blow some of the smoke elsewhere, because there's going to be a lot of it.
Well, he's the god of the north wind, and he commands the other three. So, dealer's choice.
So that's our game plan. Is a very sudden punch all over the place.
And maybe also warning the island people so they could maybe leave.
Yeah, well, anybody,
unless Hera can protect them from a volcano.
I don't care what goes on Crete, because that's mostly pirates, and if their ship gets broke, it just makes things safer. That's fine. The Athenians are specifically going to get your ships the fuck away from the shore.
But the pirates are on Santorini.
No,
Crete.
Well, Crete. That's the island south of Santorini. Crete's going to get fucked up. That's just the way that goes.
Hera and Hestia will object, and Hera will say, there will be innocent lives who will be scattered in this, who will die in this. Such an explosion, such a tumultuous event, many will die. Not just evil, not just the servants of our enemies.
understand that. And we have to demonstrate to both our side and their side that the Olympians still have power, and that there is still time for the Titans to fall again, which is why we want the Oracle's messages to go out to put that amongst the populace, to put them in a position to understand that a prophecy happened and it came true. Because the sky's going to darken and everybody's going to hear this. It will bolster it'll bolster belief in those beholden to the Olympians, and it will absolutely strike concern. I won't necessarily say go so far as fear, but certainly concern in those of the Titans, because they aren't going to necessarily see this coming. And if we have a precision attack immediately to remove one of the Titans, that's what's going to strike fear into them. Not that, the sky darkened and there was a huge boom that made everybody all, they're Titans, they're not going to care. But if one of their own is punched to gone in that same breath, that's going to make them concerned. That's going to make them want to be defensive, and that is what's going to give us the advantage.
We got squabble a little bit about this. Apollo says it makes sense. Giving the voice back to prophecy is returned. It's time that people knew it. Hestia says, but the homes that will burn because of this, the lives that will be lost at sea.
You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
Sorry, go ahead, Dolly.
You are going to lose homes and hearths when the Titans scour every inch of Greece for every last Olympian. They hate everything that Zeus loves. They are going to kill every mortal they can find. The giants are going to rampage over everything smaller than they are that they can eat, which is every home and hearth, every living soul.
What did you want to say, Thalia?
Thalia will speak up in agreement with Hera. I think your plan is excellent so far, Gyasi, and you have led us well in the past, and I'm sure you'll lead us well here. I hesitate to condemn an entire island of people just for a distraction. Shouldn't we consider their lives further?
In response to this, driving in there, Hera will be up uneasy. Apollo he's like, this makes some sense. Hera said, Athena always warned Zeus of these extreme measures if we're to protect the people of Greece. We have all the power in the world to destroy Greece if we want to, and destroy the Titans in an outright fight, but we have to consider the people. This has been a war of attrition. Apollo says, yes, but we've been doing that for years, and look where we are now. Maybe it's time to be more aggressive. Aphrodite says, these are all fair points. We have left the Demithots in charge. You'll have the final say. Is that not what you have said, Queen Hera? She sort of looks stiffly at you all. Seems that she will accept your verdict, but seems to object.
Is there an alternative location, an alternative volcano that can be used for said distraction, but without injuring the population?
Hephaestus says, any volcano that I explode is going to cause damage. That is the nature of fire. It's destructive. It can be harnessed to make beautiful things, but if you wished for destruction, destruction is what you'll get. You can't always tame destruction, like you can't always tame madness.
I do worry about us sending too many negative messages for causing famine to the north and then mass destruction in the south. Prophecy will be fulfilled, but it'll still lead an opening for misinformation to then be spread and utilized by the enemy. Kronos probably will be fine with the said destruction. It's what he wants from the end anyways.
It brings up a lot of what ifs.
There are no what ifs, son of Zeus. Innocents will die, children will die, women will die.
And all of those are true if
Your
we do
soldiers,
absolutely
yes.
nothing.
She goes quiet at that.
I agree that it would be ideal if we could do that without. But there is zero way to make that happen. There is no way to gentle Titans back into their pit. There is no way to gentle giants into passivity and retreat into mountain homes that they choose for themselves. There is no way to quell roiling seas that are being directed at the will of something that wants destruction. We have to make them pause and roll back their forces defensively. That is our only opportunity to seize what advantage we have.
She sort of looks stiff about the whole thing. And Aphrodite will say, you gave them the power from her, will you oppose it? She says, I will not. I simply give my good advice for those who have forgotten the war. Do what you will. I will go and do as I must, as you have told me to. You leave the war in your hands. You are gods now, for all intents and purposes.
If you see another way, by all means, speak up. I don't see one. I don't have Athena's wisdom. I don't have Apollo's sight. I can only see what I see and what opportunities avail themselves.
Hermes says, I mean, it's not really a plan, but I remember you guys learn about some kind of dragon researchers or something like that out in Argos. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, dragons on your side. I mean, she sort of points to Artemis, and Artemis goes, "It's true, the gods did ride dragons into battle back during the Demithots. I don't know if they would even. I mean, who knows about these people?" Apollo says, "They're still in Argos. I've seen them as much. I don't know if they're associated with dragons or if they just research them. It's a long shot, Hermes. Just putting it out there." Apollo says, "Well then, nobody has anything else to contribute, then we blow the fucking volcano. It'll bring a loss of life, but Greece will be saved in the meantime."
Can we warn the people? Warn the people at least.
That's why the prophecies are going to go out via the Oracle network, for lack of a better term.
I would
Mhm.
like to wait to detonate this volcano until we are within striking distance of Persis. If that would
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hephaestus says, "Warning Athens and Sparta is a good idea, but, well, the towns and villages and cities and the islands nearby, there's not going to be much that can be done for them. And that's just kind of... Even the ones that survive, the water is going to be spoiled and the air is going to be hard to breathe. So, the Cyclades, those southern islands, they will be at sort of... Well, sort of like looks at Hera. Says, you could try and mitigate the damage there. She says, I'm already mitigating the damage with the starving people in the north.
Yeah, I agree with Qatar. This feels too much. I mean, we're at war against Titans, not our own people. And we want something left over by the time we're done with this war. I think we should wait for the detonation and perhaps never do it at all. We can get their attention in other ways. I don't think it's worth the lives of, how many are we talking? Thousands of people?
Not that many. Hundreds.
Well, he
I
said
appreciate the
multiple
realistic
islands.
How do we have any idea how many people are out there?
I mean, I will simply say, like, many. I don't know if I can sit here and give you an accurate tally of how many people lived in the Cyclades Islands during this age in ancient Greece, but it's probably somewhere between hundreds and, like, I wouldn't say thousands, but probably like maybe like 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe more, maybe less.
Let's keep in mind, most of these are not cities like we know them. They are, fishing villages, or a fishing village with maybe a couple of olive orchards attached to them. And the turnabout is, yes, destruction happens, but the soil is all the more fertile for it afterward. There's a reason people built around Vesuvius, and that's because shit grows there.
Yeah.
Their volcano on Crete.
And they moved back after.
Yeah.
They keep going back after Volcano Day because it's just that good.
Is it possible we could lure a Titan to the volcano?
You put Nike there.
Artemis says, I mean, yeah, like at least if we're going to blow a volcano and kill hundreds of people, let's at least take a Titan with it.
I feel that that is one of the few things that would be worth the lives of innocents. To slay or merely weaken a Titan, I believe that would be worth those lives.
Well, there's the Gyasi wouldn't have this information. Never mind. I have it because I've been reading the wiki for the last 20 minutes.
You're reading wiki
Saying,
about
"Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Is it about like different volcanoes and stuff?
No, it's about this particular volcano.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Hephaestus's knowledge of his volcano is that it goes boom and it kills a lot of fucking people, and that's probably the specific knowledge he has about his volcanoes.
Is there a volcano on Crete?
Well, this one's just a little bit north of Crete.
Yeah,
Nothing on Crete, though.
This is effectively the Minoan volcano that went boom.
Yeah, but if we divulge of the like historical part, I'm just wondering if there's a volcano on Crete, because there's pirates on Crete that have killed everybody else there. So if there is a volcano there, maybe it's not Santorini that we blow up, it's Crete, where people have already.
Oh, this will screw Crete. Let's be clear. If they got pirates and boats on the north side of that island, the 145-foot tidal wave that's inbound is going to smash every one of them to splinters. Not to mention the 60 feet of ash, or 60 meters of ash that's going to fall.
Yeah. Hephaestus will say, "Oh yes, Crete will be. It will not be livable for a time."
But not as much time as you might imagine. In 5 years, plants are going to be back. Animals are going to be back. It doesn't take that long. The soil is stupid fertile after one of these.
All in the name of rebirth, then.
So which titan do you want to try to draw? I got nothing on how to make that happen. Well, actually, the below table is there's a lot of this volcano that's underwater. Maybe you draw Oceanus. How?
I think you would draw the one that's right near it.
So I would think.
You'd put Nike there, and then he would come. That would be what would happen.
Nike says, perhaps maybe we come back to the volcano. We're putting a lot of energy into the volcano. Maybe there's other things that can be placed on the map.
Maybe the investigating the dragons and Argos is the way to go.
I would like to seek them out.
Dragons of Argos.
Already made various connections with creatures across the land. Zeus's own dragon. Odin. Or Ozin, rather.
That was Zeus's own dragon?
Not Ozin,
No.
but we met the other one in a nat 20 survival check. Like, we met and,
Yeah, there was, remember you were climbing the mountain, there was the one at the bottom of the lake?
Oh, yeah.
Brought its head up and it's like, I'm like his mount.
And he said when the day comes. So, yeah, I would like to seek that out. And I'll turn to Artemis and I'll say, I think you should come with us as well.
I can't think of a better time.
You could slay Loss and you could all head to Argos and seek out the dragons thereafter if you wish. So the Demithots and Artemis will go defeat your once enemy again.
I mean, it frees up all the people in the south.
That would certainly free the forces deep in Sparta's north to start claiming territories.
And then people in the north part are causing chaos in the meantime until we get there, sowing the dissent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully then Aphrodite goes to help Athena and Ares.
You guys still have.
Silenos.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm joking. Nothing.
Okay. You guys still have Hestia, depending on if you do the volcano thing or not, Hephaestus, Nike, and then Hermes is just being the messenger god and coordinating.
Nike should come with us.
I think we're gonna
Or
need
leave
victory
her.
across the map. Yeah,
Should
Yeah,
stay
or
here.
leave her with Hestia. Hmm.
because the Amazonians, while they will be fighting the giants and it'll be hit and run tactics,
We need them
you
to
know,
be
just hitting.
successful.
We do need them to be successful.
Yeah, maybe Nike and Hestia stay here. Maybe Hephaestus just goes to the volcano and is there if we need to go boom.
He sets the charges. Yeah.
I could go there
And then
and begin
this forge.
creating arms and armor for all of you.
Yeah. Like,
If you have
can
magic
arm-
items to create.
Awesome.
and it would
you
also
have-
arm Ares and Athena as soon as they're free. Because they're right next to each other.
That is right. That's right. It's hard to unarm a god once they've been armed. I can certainly begin to work on keeping the gods well armed. And if any of you have special materials or anything like that on yours, I can produce them.
Ugh.
I could start. It might require. I will say, I'm gonna look at
I have
art
toenails
instances.
of giants.
I can do things with toenails of giants.
I have.
I also mean to say, you know how they say only a god can kill another god, or a deity can only kill another deity, and so on and so forth. If you wanted Titan slaying arms, so it looks around a little uncomfortably, I would need the huntress to seek the right materials, but I could start producing such weapons. for all of
We
you.
need them. As many as you can muster.
Maybe Artemis doesn't come with us. She does that.
It will be slow, not too slow, mind you. If I was producing things more easy, for example, Silenos or Cerberus hide, I could make something out of that. Let's say somebody else said something, I could make a number of magic items for you for when you return. If I'm making a Titan Slayer, something of god level of power, I can only produce them one at a time. You understand? Very potent items.
I can see no other way. We need to have those Titan slaying weapons.
Well, I can get to work on that. But again, keep in mind I can do many other things. Produce, we've spoken about creating weapons that are too ahead of its time for the groups, but I can also create a number of weapons for the right time. I can suddenly supply Sparta with an exceptional number of well-made swords and spears. So, just tell me how you want me to go to work.
It's a lot.
Anima says, I will say, Plus is one of the... He's powerful, but he is one of the... I don't want to say a lesser Titan, because that sort of ruins the power of all Titans. But if you were to send Nike with me, I would most assuredly be able to defeat Plus with ease. Even without her, I'm pretty sure I could defeat him guerrilla style, arrows in the dark and such.
For the record, Silenos is looking in awe, by the way.
Looking in awe. And it's funny too, because like, she's a god and all, and you guys are probably used to it by now, but like Artemis looks like a young girl. Like depictively. Like she looks like a young virgin maiden with like a bow. And she's like, I could kill a Titan.
Well,
Nobody here denies it, but it's just a funny image, I think.
would the idea be she takes care of the Titan while we go talk to the dragons?
That could be the way to go. I'm just trying to let you know what I think I could take. But if you want to do that together, we could do that together.
I just hesitate splitting us all up
Yeah.
completely.
We'll make just as fast work of it if we do it together.
Yes. Yes.
Do we need Nike then, or should she stay and victory throughout?
She'll stay here.
I believe
Along
she
with
should
Hestia.
stay until we need her immediately.
Are we in agreement?
Hera will say, this is all very good to start. Is there any other mortal forces you wish to move, to command to do such? Is there anything else at all?
I was thinking that maybe the Spartans could go help the cult of Hecate because they're about to get attacked, right?
That was going to be my question.
They could, but they would be
they do
not
have,
nearly as effective.
They do have a decent force of frost giants on their doorstep. Getting close. But they're well hidden, so it's not like they're targeting the cult. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
But, you know, they are right in the line of where they're headed, so
yeah,
chances are they'll run into each other, but it's not a specific target of the giants. It'd be very surprising if they were.
We also should do something to protect Themyscira, or at least help it.
Yeah, we sent Dionysus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dionysus will be sowing dissent in the ranks of the giants, and all the while helping the Amazonians with their guerrilla tactics.
I mean, I think Cain and Medea and the cult there could definitely, like, I would assume could assist with chaosness.
You could, like, and that's the thing, like, you're, like, all of these forces that are loyal to the gods, you can send them through godly sign or oracle power to go where you want them to go. And then chances are they'll listen to the signs of the gods. So if you wanted to send the dwarves of Cor Volcus forward, if you wanted to send the Spartans forward, Hephaestus, like, on the board here, like, if you wanted him to say, yeah, make spears for Sparta, I'll put an extra, like, Spartan force dude down for Sparta. If you want him to make fucking crossbows for Spartans, I'll put 2 down, but that's something you can't put back in the bag, you know? How's that sound?
I was just gonna say, can he just give me one of those?
Give you a crossbow?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't see why not. He's like, I'll make you a fucking Titan Slayer. I think a crossbow is okay. So that's kind of the last one on the list. If you want Hephaestus to just kind of hang around there and kind of like... Just where would you like to direct Hephaestus's work?
A Titan killer sounds handy dandy. I mean, we can't even kill gods right now. Like, we can't kill gods, sorry.
And it says you could defeat them and Hades could imprison them.
Mhm.
Hephaestus says, I can make weapons that are of much greater power, but again, I would need Artemis to seek out the special materials I'd need.
Hmm. I don't know what
But
to
again,
do.
I can also just empower your allied forces. I can just make them stronger if you wish.
I mean, I think if Artemis is coming with us, then he should focus on empowering forces because there's no there's no progress going to be made there anyways because she'd be with us. So unless she's going to do that thing, Hephaestus should make weapons for our forces.
I can make weapons for the Spartans. I can make weapons for my people in Korvolkis. I can make weapons for the Amazons.
Hmm.
How far do the tunnels of Korvokus travel? Where can they
They
get
travel-
to unseen?
They travel deeper than the Earth. In fact, I have sorry, I think I know things on the map. It says, well, you'll know these mountain ranges up towards the north. What else there is? These mountain ranges largely unused up to the north, over here. There's another dwarven city within the mountains there. There are 2 in Greece, that is the second.
Hmm. If the Macedonians aren't our direct enemy at this point, I don't want to risk losing them as a potential ally.
The dwarven cities connected?
They are connected, but by very long tunnels. They only make very casual shipments to one another.
I mean, maybe we make as many weapons as we can in the south and then send a shipment to the north, and then we have basically weapons north and south. And it'll take a while to get there, but we're doing all the stuff on the south anyways. So why don't we do that and then send the first kind of shipment north while we're sort of doing a bunch of stuff down here, distracting.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
There's only one problem, they're pacifists.
You said you're kidding, right?
Yeah, I said I'm kidding.
I was like, of course.
Well, what's the fucking point?
Fine.
Why
Ruin all their plans.
Please, ruin their plans. But we have absolutely no problem insulting their mothers.
Ultimately, we're focused on the surface. They're not going to be paying much attention to caravan underground.
Does take a while, but it can get there. We also don't need to wait for the weapons shipment. I can just make weapons for my people in Kor Faldur, is what it's called.
More options. No.
I'll make things very easy for you. Just pick a force that you wish to be stronger, more reinforced, and I will make them stronger. I will give them better weapons, better armor.
The Mascara, because they're our homies and struggling the most right now.
Are they?
Themyscira is.
Mm-hmm. They're like actively being attacked by the giants.
Oh, okay.
I will send.
Sure.
I'll send proper weapons and bless the Themyscirians with them. It's also, you could send your cult if you wanted to Katara. Provide a little magical help.
Yes, my thought for the cult was Medea and Cain are already there. So I was sort of thinking they could go to help the Mascara. And the cult people that are there. It's their home too. So, but Sybil is in Samothrace.
What's her name again?
And
What's your little vampire lady's name again?
Vampire is Medea.
Medea, that's right. Thank you.
like
And
the idea
then
of your cult being unseen.
yeah, so my thought with Sybil is maybe she can sort of because the idea is like they're kind of go where they can maybe go in there where they need to be. Sybil sort of keeps control of the younger ones. And I'm wondering if maybe she can send some of the ones that maybe blend in a little bit to some of the areas we don't have much information on. And that can be sort of, she sits there trying to gather information on the unknown parts. So Athens, we don't have control of yet, right?
All right.
Something there.
So you want to send. So we'll just like finalize each region. We'll go through each region and finalize it. So here we got the Amazons. We'll be fighting alongside Dionysus to push back and sow dissent in the ranks of the giants. The cult of Hecate is going to help in a sort of guerrilla, rogue, spooky from the forest kind of way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if they can just push, if Amazons can push them into the forest, we'll just take them out.
Okay. So we'll say Apollo will send a prophecy to like push the giants into the forest.
Sure.
Cool.
Send them to the mist.
Lured into the Amazon forest to be slain by the cult. Okay, sweet. We head south. The fire giants are on the move. There is a tribe of Amazons down in the south. Cyprus is fairly unmilitarized. It's a small tribe of Amazons. Those places taken. Okay, here in the water region, pirates doing pirate shit. Hephaestus is going to be in his volcano where he's going to forge. Aphrodite is going to be sent to what's it called? To man, Aphrodite, get out of the way. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want to do. Seraphos, to try and free Ares and Athena of their sort of maddened state and hopefully defeat the giant or the Titan. Sybil's going to sort of stand by, see what happens if the giants defend themselves. We'll go over here to this region. Sparta is standing by, as are the Myrmidons. Ozin is going to be left on her mountain, and the dwarves of Corvolcus are standing by as well. Or did you want to send the dwarves? I thought I heard somewhere in there that you wanted to send the dwarves to do something.
I was saying if we supply the southern dwarves to send a shipment to the north, so that basically there's weapons north and south.
Got it.
Eventually.
But then we decided to do the Amazons. So the dwarves will continue to stand by as well. It's also worth noting these forces may go do their own thing. Like, if the gods have, if you guys and the gods haven't specifically told them to do something, the Spartans might say, "Fuck yeah, let's go take over this fucking city," right? So basically, you're like, do your own thing right now, is what I'm assuming. You can also tell them to not do shit if you want to, of course. Like, hey,
I mean, there's no one over there yet, right? Like, there's no enemies there, just aside from the Titan.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, you're totally right. So Argos, the next city occupied by the Macedonians, there is confirmed some dragon researchers, people associated with dragons, which you guys are going to investigate after taking Artemis out to go kill or take down your old buddy Perseus, the Titan of Destruction.
Oh, that's Pellus?
Colossus is the father of giants. Yeah, Colossus is the father of giants.
Because we gotta get there, like, ASAP.
Yeah. Corinth remains under control of these guys, the Macedonians. Athens will remain under control. The Drow are unknown, what their status is unknown. The Paladins are meant to go south to protect the Oracle. The Underworld's the Underworld. Iphitus might be an issue at some point, but certainly not right now. Kronos remains on his mountain, imprisoning Zeus. The Dwarves will remain being the Dwarves in their mountains. And then Hera and Demeter go to starve the population of Pella. while Hera tries to protect the innocent and the weak from starvation. And the giants will continue their thing. Does that sound...
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
my only other thought now that we just went through the map, would it make sense to send someone from Sparta to go talk to the dragon researchers to maybe get intel for us while we deal with the giants?
Keep in mind, these people don't travel as fast as you guys. You guys have teleportation and like a wicked fast ship and the winds of Boris. These guys have to walk, right? Or ride a horse.
Just a thought, if we wanted to try to do, because Ouroboros was saying about dealing with the giants, so trying to figure out if we're doing giants first or dragons first.
You try and send... I mean, the dragons were... you could try and send out like a temple, like tell the gods to tell the people, or the gods would tell the priests to tell the people, like some kind of hidden message for the dragon people, if you want to be more sneaky about it. Like reverence to the scaled ones, I don't know, something like that. You guys, I think I recall in this set of lore, the dragons were used by the gods, and then they were sort of like cast out or hunted by the gods, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, doesn't matter. Okay. Is this the set plan? Are we good? That's what's going to happen next.
I think so.
Alright, sounds like a yes. With that, the gods all sort of nod at this plan that you've made. You guys are going to go to fight and confront the Titan of Destruction, and then try and find this Dragon Society, see if there's anything to it. And then perhaps return to Yaya and plan out your next moves. But the gods are on the move, and hopefully things will change for the better. We will see if your guidance and your leadership of the gods is a worthy one. And that's where we'll end the session.
Okey-dokey.
Big planning day, guys. What did people
Would I
think
be able
about
to,
it?
like, if Hephaestus is just making weapons for the armies, can he also, like, make, like, magic shit? Or would he need, like, some extra supplies?
He needs supplies, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the idea is like, yeah, he's the smith, but he needs materials, and magic items are new materials to make magic items. So
I
he's like,
will-
I got Artemis, I'm fully stocked, but she'll take care of everything.
But like a Cerberus side?
Well, you can. Talk to him about it next session.
Cool.
Let me decide.
Cool.
Let me decide
Will do.
how powerful I'm making you guys
Before
in this
he
little...
leaves. No, it's all good. And
I was
if I
gonna
need
say,
to
I
hunt
will-
something down, I'll
talk to
hunt
the
something
gods.
down.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you guys will have a chance to talk to the gods before you all go off on your missions and whatnot on the actual island next session. So.
We also have a doppelganger we can talk to figure out where freaking Prometheus is.
That's true. Nice. Doppelganger. Alright. Well, I hope everybody liked. I hope everybody liked the